victory at San Francisco. Then the Dodgers lost in 10 innings, 7-6 at the Angels, despite a ninth-inning solo homer from Shohei Ohtani, his 43rd. Houston and Seattle are tied for first in the AL West. Houston was beaten at home 14-1 by Boston after Seattle won its 8th straight game, 1-0 at Baltimore. Mets and Yankees each one. I'm Steve DeSager.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, FANRUN Radio.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Ladies and gentlemen,
all I know is you never had the makings for varsity athlete.
What is it with you and this obsession with this varsity crap? People come to us because we don't sell them and they can't refuse because of the implication.
you wonder ever a bad man?
World needs bad men. We keep the other bad men from the door.
Some things are a matter of duty.
The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough to dispute. Mine's about to take advice from a clown who dives headfirst into the shallow end of the booth.
It's Talk Sports with John Reed and Cody McClure.
If it is to be said, so it be. So it is. So it is. So it is. If it's a Tennessee thing, well, I'm holding on.
Back in the booth, back on the airwaves, coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. John Reed, still no Cody McClure. His final day of vacation. He should be back tomorrow, but I do got my P team here, who has really been my A team. Shout out to Bubba, who is ready to bounce back after people have been mean to him on the internet following yesterday's trivia. Keep your head up, Bubba. I still think you're a king, brother. And intern Jackson, my trusted sidekick. Jackson's time here on the show winding down as school gets ready to start back and he gets a new schedule. Still be around, still be doing some stuff at the station, just won't be here talking in the mornings with us. So if you love MAGA Jackson, soak it in. Enjoy his last week. If you don't like Jackson, celebrate. He's about to be gone. Bubba, top of the morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Grateful to be alive, John.
Amen. Shout out to you and shout out to Travis Tritt.
Yeah.
It's a great day to be alive, Bubba.
Yeah.
What are you most thankful for today on this beautiful Wednesday morning?
What am I most thankful for? The fact that this weekend I got to visit some family.
Yeah? Caught up with some people you love?
Yep.
Some people with your blood pumping through their veins?
Yep.
Nice. What's the second thing you're most thankful for?
That I had a place to sleep last night.
Amen, brother. There's some people that ain't got one.
Yeah.
Love the positivity. Love the perspective. If there's one thing you could change about your life right now, what would it be?
More discipline.
Okay. Going to bed earlier, eating better.
Everything.
All the above.
Better at my workouts, not afraid to push through to the end, not just because of, oh, it hurts. Just discipline all around.
Okay. Discipline. I like that. I concur. It'd be a good thing for everybody. Every time I wake up in the morning, I wish I had more discipline. Every morning I come in here and talk about it. I think about it. I'm like, what if I just get up when I'm not tired anymore? Like when I wake up, yeah, it's 5:50, but hey, I'm not tired. Just get up. Are those 30 minutes of sleep, those 30 minutes of laying there getting groggy again, are they worth it? I can't turn it down. I love to stay in bed. But one of these days, Bubba, I'm just going to get up, even if it's 20 minutes early, and just get my day started a little bit early, and I'll probably feel better. But today wasn't that day. Today I just kept watching those clocks tick, and I went in. I made sure I turned my one alarm off and set another one for 15 minutes later. If I get up at this time, I could take a shower comfortably, which I could. Everything was good. Wasn't rushed this morning, but still feeling groggy today because I went back to sleep and got in that REM cycle. So I need some discipline as well, friends. I need some of that good old-fashioned discipline. Jackson, what about you? How are you today on this Wednesday morning?
Doing good as always.
You are pretty steady. You are pretty consistent. You are always in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get me upset this early in the morning.
That's good.
So
it's good mentality. I like that. What's one thing that you're most thankful for?
My brother's moving into college today, so I'll get to see my mom and brother.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
pretty thankful for that.
Nice. Your brother's coming up here to UT?
He is.
Freshman year?
Yep. It's kind of.
He didn't want to mess around with going to Ole Miss or another school first like you did?
Nah. He's a Vol through and through.
Love that.
But it's a little nerve-wracking for me because it means I'm getting old.
It means you're getting old. Yeah, that's true. And I look at you, I think, man, this guy's old, man.
Well, my little brother's going to be a freshman in college, which is pretty crazy.
I know. You're getting old. I can see it. I can see it in your eyes. You're losing a little bit of that spirit you have, Jackson. You're getting beaten down by life. I'm sorry to hear that about you. I'm sorry that it's going that way for you. What's one thing you would work on?
Probably going to bed earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I get into bed at like 10, but I lay there for at least an hour awake, watching TV or something.
You got to take a TV out of the bedroom, Jackson.
Yeah.
That's some advice I'd give you.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
It's bad for you.
I know it is, but.
Now, I know you got the option of just going to look at your phone and just, using that as a TV. But you don't want to do it. Take it out of the bedroom, brother.
I might look into doing that.
What's your schedule looking like for class in the fall? You got a lot of early morning classes. You can start sleeping in a little bit more. Or are you somebody that gets up early no matter what?
I think because I'm wired to get up early after this summer, I think I'm going to stick with it. I don't have classes that are super early, but I think I am still going to try to get up early and go to the gym before classes.
Nice.
That way, when I get done with classes, like on Monday, I only have one class. So when I'm done with that class at 11 o'clock, I'm done for the day with all my extracurricular stuff I need to do.
You going to work? You going to try to work this semester, or do you get to just kind of focus on school?
If I can find, because I'm doing, is it the Chase here?
Yeah.
1 to 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
So I might look into something I can do Tuesday, Thursdays, and the weekends, maybe work as a bar back or something.
Okay.
But
if you're listening and you need a good, reliable kid, put Jackson to work. Yeah, he's very reliable, even though he took 4 days off last week to go chase some girl and went to Africa for 2 weeks in the middle of his schedule here. He's pretty reliable. Otherwise, I give him my stamp of approval. Bubba too, if you just need a vibes guy. I recommend Bubba, even though he's wearing that stupid Colts hat. He's loyal, you know. He's not a bandwagon guy. Bubba's loyal. It's not a stupid hat, Bubba. It looks nice. What do you think about the Colts pretzel? Did you see that? Did you see what they're selling in the stadium? A lot of people on the internet are making fun of it.
I would eat it, John. That's one of my go-tos on game days, a pretzel.
A pretzel in that shape, though, people said looked like it was basically like a dog had gone outside and pooped. That's what they were saying it looked like.
I've had worse that looked worse.
You've had worse?
That looked worse.
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, but so does a 2-day-old guacamole that's kind of brown all around.
Yeah.
That looks pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't want to eat no 2-day-old guacamole either. I won't say like a presentation guy. Like, I don't care about presentation. Like, hey, you bring me a steak, you don't need to put like any garnishes on it, or don't put any flowers or anything extra. Just give me a piece of meat. I don't need it to be all pretty. But when it's ugly, that's different. When it's ugly, it's a little bit different. I cook my steaks in a cooler, like in water. Whenever I cook,
you a sous vide guy?
Yeah, what?
Sous vide.
I just call it cooking in a cooler. I don't know. Is that the official term for it?
Well, no, sous vide is like you basically like it's sealed, but then you cook it in water.
Yeah.
To the point where like I guess internally it reaches the temperature.
Yeah.
And then you sear like the sides of it.
I don't bother searing the sides of it. I just go to town on it with it looking tainty and gross, and it doesn't hit the same as when it looks nice.
Well, you're missing flavors too.
Flavor. I'm eating for nutrients. I'm eating for survival. But something that looks gross, like I gotta say, you guys are too young for the green ketchup. But have you ever heard of green ketchup?
I think we have like one of those like old relic bottles above like our stovetop.
Jackson, you ever heard of green ketchup?
I've not.
Well, for a while in the early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s, Heinz decided it was smart to sell ketchup. And it's like, hey, we've really hit our peak here with red. What about if we take the same ketchup and just make it green and purple, and kids will love it? So they started selling ketchup that was green and purple. And it was gross. I didn't like it.
Did you ever paint with it?
Paint with it?
Yeah. Looks like it'd be a great color to paint with.
No, I mean, I think, like you'd take your chicken nuggets and like swirl it around on the plate and stuff. So, I mean, like you'd paint a little bit on the plate, but like not on the wall, not like on any paper or anything. But it was gross. It just ruined everything. It just looks like it tasted different. It was just disgusting. I'm just kidding. I don't actually cook my steak in a cooler either.
Yeah, John doesn't actually cook.
Not much. Not much. Oh. I can cook here and there, but
condolences.
You find you a good woman, Bubba, she'll cook for you.
That's got to be reversed.
Condolences to you for not being able to find a good woman.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. Yeah, don't come at me for not cooking. I got me a woman that'll do it for me.
I'm glad we're keeping the integrity alive here.
She whips me up something pretty good. She's been gone for a week. She left me with like 10 meals, just a whole bunch of barbecue chicken, which I love. And then this little like weird like ground turkey, rice, and zucchini thing that I like too. I've been eating a lot of that.
I love some ground turkey.
It's supposed to be healthier for me, but I got to be honest, I'm not. It's not really help. I'm not really losing any weight.
Love some zucchini.
I do love zucchini. I do love that. I've been eating a lot of that. It's not really helping me like actually lose any weight now. I'm not necessarily gaining it. And maybe it's the sodas. I got to cut out the sodas, but
Oh yeah, those liquid calories will get you.
Those liquid calories get you. I know.
That's something I'm still struggling with is cutting out the sodas.
Yeah. All 150 pounds of him. He's struggling. So today Jackson's trying to tell us, Bubba, he's fat and he's old. As he sits here
I'm saying
at 21 with 3% body fat. He's fat and old now.
I have 17% body fat.
The fact you measure is enough of a story, is enough of a point there. Bubba, do you know how much body fat you are?
I'm too afraid to find out.
Exactly. That's the point. Jackson wasn't. He said, strap me up. Let's figure it out.
But as I was saying, I am
17 does seem high though. I wouldn't have thought you were 17. I didn't think you're actually 3, but
it's because I'm compact, so I got some fat in places. It doesn't look like I got fat.
Fair enough.
But I am struggling to kick the sodas. I've been trying to kick sodas for a while. It's hard because there's not much better than a Dr. Pepper.
A Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, but then you're getting all the high fructose corn syrup and stuff that they put in the.
Yeah, we don't need a nutrition lesson, nerds. Bubba sent us a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some sports. We never really dove into like the AP Top 25 and college football in general. We'll start there. We'll work our way from there. That'll be our starting point. Stick with us. Let's talk sports on FANRUN Radio.
When Rocky Top hit rock bottom,
multiple reports now that UT is in the process of hiring Greg Schiano as its next football coach.
A fan base's livelihood flashed before its eyes.
I mean, if there's anything inside you that still cares about the university, get down to campus right now and make your voice heard.
And then we said enough is enough.
John Reed is on the steps of the training center, and he's rallying the troops with a bullhorn.
Hell no, Schiano! Hell no, Schiano!
From the ashes, we rose up, the fan base that started a revolution, and the station that led the charge.
Getting reports from within the athletic department that the deal is off. Pretty connected guy saying the deal is off. That was a direct quote.
When the time came, you were ready.
We are starting a revolution that says we're not going to take this shit from you anymore.
For the fans that refuse to settle.
We have successfully shut this down today.
This is Fox Sports Knoxville.
We are the caretakers now.
FANRUN Radio.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Number 24 in the AP Top 25 a couple of days ago. We didn't really dissect that too much yesterday. Bubba Jackson Bubba. Is number 24 too high, too low, or just right? I know Bubba, who thinks we might go 7-5, might say it's a little high. Jackson, I don't really know how you feel about the boys right now. We'll start with you. Too high, too low, just right at number 24.
You know, when it first came out, I let my anger and rage come upon me, and I was really mad that we were number 24. I thought there's no way we're the 24th best team in football. We're better than that. But then I was reminded that in 2022, we came in unranked.
Unranked for comparison's sake. 2022, you were unranked. 2021, of course, you were unranked. The Joe Milton season, 2023, you came in ranked number 12.
And that may have been, I think it was that season that I looked at after that, and I'm like, we were ranked 12 here, and it didn't really work out. So I'm actually content with 24. It gives the team something to build for.
Last year, you were ranked number 15 before the season. So I'd say you were undervalued last year, and, of course, undervalued in 2022. So you're going with just right at 24?
I'd rather be undervalued right now than overvalued.
Well, I'm not asking what you would rather be. I'm asking if you agree with the ranking.
Yeah,
I agree. Do you think 24 is fair for Tennessee?
Yeah.
Bubba? Too high? Too low? Just right?
I mean, we could lie and say it's just right. Just because, we were still a playoff team last season.
Jackson, he's calling you a liar to start your morning off. He said that you're lying to yourself and everybody. Okay, Bubba, so.
Those were not my exact words, but.
Not exact words.
Please take them as such.
But, they kind of were. You came on and said just right, and then he says, we could lie and say that. So, I mean, that's the way I took it. But, Bubba, does that mean you think that they are too low? No? Oh, no.
Nah, I think by week 3 we'll figure out if we're too high or not, John.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we'll find out whenever we play Georgia. That'll be a good measuring stick game. Now, I don't know if we'll truly learn a lesson there because you could beat Georgia. That would make you feel like you're way too low if you beat Georgia. But if you lose to Georgia, I don't know what that tells you. And if you lose bad to Georgia, I still don't know what that tells you because Georgia could end up being really, really awesome this year and kind of like Ohio State marching through the tournament last year. Everyone could fall to Georgia the way we fall to Georgia if we were to fall to Georgia by an ugly amount. So I don't know how much you will learn. I think you got a lot to gain in the Georgia game. They come in ranked at number 5. To me, looking at the poll, the preseason poll, the only thing that really stood out, I didn't really care that we were at 24. I think it's hard to get too worked up about that, but the 10th in the SEC, I did have a bit of a problem with. 10th in the SEC feels hurtful, feels disrespectful to what Josh Heupel and his staff have accomplished at Tennessee. Ain't a whole lot of teams, that have won as many games as he has the last 3 years. You know what I mean? Like 11 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. I mean, if you look at the programs that have averaged 10 wins a year, and I'm counting the bowl game just for the sake of this. If you want to drop it down to, what would it be, 28 otherwise, like if you want to drop it down to 28, go ahead and do it. Just drop it down to 28 or drop it down to no bowl games for the other teams and get me the list of teams that have averaged more wins over the last 3 years. I can't imagine it's very long. You know what I mean? So I do feel like it's a little disrespectful in that regard to have Tennessee that low. I don't think that, the production Tennessee lost. Yeah, but his mic off if he's going to be putting candy right in the damn microphone. Like, why are you eating candy at 7:25 in the morning, Jackson?
I was really trying to conceal it. It was under the desk.
Why are you eating candy at 7:25? And could you not have waited till like a commercial break?
I got a sweet tooth. I'm sorry.
You got a sweet tooth?
Yep.
It's 7:25. Are you eating one of those damn Jolly Ranchers that we have outside? What are you eating right now?
Smarties.
It's 725. And again, with the damn wrapper. We could all hear you eating the Smarties. When I eat Smarties, I just used to twist them and like sit them on the table and then just open them up, leave them on the floor flat, or leave them on the desk flat.
You weren't the type of guy to crush them up and try to
snort them?
Yeah.
No, I had good influences in my life at that age when I was eating Smarties. Did you? Were you a snort guy? I bet you had some friends who were. That's crazy, snorting Smarties. Jackson, if you don't mind, keep your candy consumption to a minimum. We got a 3-man show, boys. Like our number 2 is gone. We need to step up. Not play defense against me, Jackson. You damn Smarties. That was a dumb move, ironically enough. But, like, again, if you go and look at the teams ahead of Tennessee, you're not going to find many that have had more wins the past 3 years. Now, you could argue and you could rebuttal and say that doesn't matter. John, what does 2022 have to do with 2025? And that's fair. But there are some sayings about the best indicator for future performance is past performance, right? Best way to judge what is going to happen is to look at what has happened. Find patterns. Seeing is believing, all those things. Also saw College Football Matrix, Dave Bartu, one of the better analytical minds when it comes to football. He came up with a ranking last night, or yesterday, biggest net exporters.
China.
Are they at the top of the list? Probably, right?
I don't know.
Is it us and China? Are we top 2?
I would say so.
Yeah, I feel like we need to probably know that, but I imagine we are the top 2. Does China use a lot of our stuff?
I want to say probably not.
Probably not, right? Yeah. We use their stuff, but they don't use our stuff.
As it should be.
But no, the biggest net exporters in college football, meaning that basically you had more transfers out than transfers in. I think whenever it happens during the transfer portal era, people freak out about it, right? You view it as a negative. Oh, we lost our wide receiver. Oh, Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod are leaving. Oh, this backup defensive back is leaving. Let's go out. Let's grab somebody in the portal. Now, look, I say that somewhat mockingly, but like I do think that, Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimrod might actually be missed on this team if we don't have any of these young receivers step up. But of the biggest net exporters, he looked at teams that have had more people transfer out than transfer in.
Who's the biggest importers?
I don't know who the biggest importers are. That's a good question. I only have the exporters list.
Does that make you feel good that we're the top of the list for people leaving? Do you think that shows some culture concerns and some program concerns?
Well, I don't know, because I'm going to give you the teams that are with us, the top 5, and you tell me if you think it's a good list to be in or a bad list to be in. You answer the question yourself, because the top 5 exporters in the sport, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Texas.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Being with those names, on paper looks pretty good.
Yeah, you see that, and you look and say, okay, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, like those are 3 of the top 10 programs in the country right now.
But then you dive deep, and it's like, well, Georgia's always got some kind of program concerns.
Well, they have you call it program concerns, and I know it's a popular meme to like talk about them whenever it comes to driving reckless, but like I don't really have much program concerns about them. Kirby Smart's not really worried about those guys driving fast. The team still plays pretty well on the field. you could call it a culture problem if you want to talk about breaking the law, and that's one thing. But I think for the sake of like roster management, I don't think they have a culture problem. Is that a fair distinction? Because it's not like the players that are getting caught driving fast or really making up this list one way or the other, or they're definitely not leaving. They're sticking around. I don't think it's the guys that have driving fast that leave or don't leave Georgia. You can call it a culture problem, though, of him not being able to take care of his players and keep them like under control, if you will. But like from a roster building standpoint, I think everyone in the country is pretty envious of Georgia. No,
I mean, yeah.
For
Alabama, I mean, they don't have Nick Saban, so it's not the same illustrious program that we saw. Kind of seeing the slight decline.
Sure. Yeah, in year one, they did not live up to the Nick Saban expectation. Now, a lot of people like them this year in 2025. We'll see how it goes. You know, I don't know. I don't know if they got a quarterback. You know, it's just like Georgia, really just like Tennessee. I don't know if they have a quarterback. We'll see. But, like, I still think when I see a list, if Georgia and Alabama and even Texas are on it, like Texas has bullied their way back into the top of the line despite not really having any big wins the last year, despite not really rising to the occasion ever. They have a seat at the table now of the elite. Like I'd like to see Ohio State on it. You know, if I got a wish list of teams. But what this means, and it's what we've been talking about, boys, is like Tennessee has changed their roster mentality. And they're betting this year on talented blue chip recruits, whether it be true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. They're looking around and saying, hey, we are taking these high ceiling guys that we recruited and paid for, and we're investing in them and their future versus the low ceiling transfer portal guys who are stepping up, you know, from usually the way the transfer portal works. Usually, now there are some exceptions, is you're going from a lower tier program, whether it be in a power conference or a lower tier program, you know, in the group 5, and you're trying to find some diamonds in the rough. Basketball, we've seen that work out. Basketball, I think, is a little different, though. I think you can find a couple of diamonds in the rough in basketball. I'd like a list, and maybe they're out there. Maybe I don't know, but like I'd like a list of the Group 5 transfers that have came up to the next level and really like lit the world on fire. Are there any that like come to your mind? Because I'm drawing a blank when it comes to the transfer portal, like impact players that weren't already like at an established program. Now they're out there. Like Jordan Addison went from Pittsburgh. Now Pittsburgh that like won the ACC and went to USC, and he was really good. You know, Caleb Downs and Judkins went from, you know, the SEC to Ohio State and were really good. So they are out there, but I'd like to hear about it from the Group 5, the guys that were at the Group 5 who stepped up, went up a level, and really performed. Tennessee has made the conscious decision to try to develop these really talented freshmen, and that's been the story of training camp so far, or fall camp, as it's called here in Knoxville. There's been a lot of talk about the freshmen. Bubba, you're asking about Deshaun Brame. There's been glowing endorsements about him. Same for Travis Smith coming out of the weekend. Same for, you know, Rodarius Jackson through most of camp. Like those are 3 guys that Tennessee's like, hey, could we bring in a C+, B- type of prospect from the transfer portal and slot in over them when it comes to the depth chart and getting them reps and opportunities? Yes. Does that make our football team better? I don't know. It definitely doesn't make the future of our program better. So I was happy to see Tennessee on this exporter list, because when I look at Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, you know, we think of really talented rosters. We think of teams that have really, like, you know, do a good job recruiting. and developing and getting those guys on the field. If you're doing your job as a coaching staff, recruiting and developing, you shouldn't really have to hit the transfer portal too often. You shouldn't have to. Yeah, you're going to lose some backups, and yeah, you need some depth. We get that, but like I think in modern day college football during the transfer portal era, there ain't going to be too many programs that actually have depth. You know what I mean? Like there's too many places to go play for anybody to really commit to sitting as a backup for too long, especially as they become juniors and seniors. Depth is a luxury that most programs can't really afford. So I like Tennessee's mentality, and I like the company they're in. And yeah, Florida's in it too. I haven't talked a lot about them, but people say that Florida's got a really talented roster and headed in the right direction. We'll see.
Yeah, it's one thing I've been trying to look at quickly as you've been making some very provocative points there.
Thank you.
Is about the total incoming like transfers that would most likely be expected to start for the teams. And Tennessee sits right around 4.
They have 4 transfers that are expecting to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of in the same company as Alabama. Georgia only has 2. LSU.
Georgia only has 2 transfers that are set to start?
Yes.
Okay. That's obviously good for them. They've recruited, stacked up a whole bunch of talent.
It's just offensive players, and it is their wide receivers, Zach Branch and Noah Thomas.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like they've overhauled or added to the wide receiver room more than anything in the deep dive of Georgia I did earlier.
But yeah, I mean Tennessee's it's kind of in the same company as that. Even LSU has 2 more guys, even though they're more on the defensive side of things. That's the other thing, too. Doesn't matter if it's defensive or offensive or just team told us to transfers and expect to start versus, guys that you kind of keep building over and over. Because on the defensive side of things, minus our injuries that we have, we're basically returning like almost the whole defensive squad or guys that have been on the team instead of starting to transfer right away. Offense, obviously a different story, but
well, like for Tennessee, like whenever you're telling me that four transfers are in line to start, like I imagine it's Sam Pendleton, Wendell Moai, which we've been pronouncing as Mo, and upon further research, Bubba, it's Moai, spelled like Mo. But like those 2 transfers are set to start. I don't imagine they're still counting Lance Hurd.
No, excuse me. Pardon me. The color combination here. Joey Aguilar would be the 3rd one.
Joey Aguilar, of course, yeah.
And then I guess it's only at 3 is where it caps out at.
Okay.
And then
depending on like Colton Hood's getting some love at defensive back. The Colorado transfer. Like people have been really, really praising him, and he might be in line to start if Jermod McCoy isn't able to go at the beginning of the year, and Hood might be able to work his way into being a big factor either way. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, like Tennessee ain't really relying on too many transfers this go round. Like the whole starting defense kind of feels like they've been here for a while now. You're talking about like the Jackson Rosses of the world stepping up to be ready to play. Or not Jackson Ross, excuse me. Jordan Ross, thank you. I mean, Jackson Ross should be ready to step up and kick some balls around it as well. But, yeah, Jordan Ross, thank you, Jackson. Like, he should be ready to step up and play. That's a guy that you brought along, you tried to develop last year. Hopefully it pays off this year the same way that Joseph did last year.
I'm intrigued to see how our D-line is going to be, specifically our D-tackles, because it's like David Hobbs is projected to start, and then behind him is that kid from Grand Valley State, that Josh Schnell.
Maybe, but also like Isaiah Campbell. They've been praising him. How long can we keep Isaiah Campbell off the field? The really, really talented young defensive lineman. That was a big recruiting win. How long are you going to keep him off the field? Because, like, the one thing about the defensive line, of course, we know, and Tennessee did it more than pretty much anybody last year. You're going to play 10, 11, 12 guys. You're going to play as many guys that can actually play. You're not worried about getting your starters their amount of reps. Like, it's more about freshness. You know what I mean? Like, it's more about get as many people on the field, keep them as fresh as possible, and their strength in numbers is kind of the mentality there. So, like, you know, that was a big win with Isaiah Campbell. Like, that was the guy you beat Clemson for, right? Like, you went into North Carolina and grabbed him. He's a 5-star. How long are you going to keep him off the field at defensive tackle? I would say probably not long. Same for Ethan Utley. That's a big 4-star tackle. Like, I imagine that he is on the field at some point this year. So, like, yeah, the defensive line, like, Tennessee should have a bunch of players that could play. The linebackers should be pretty good. The secondary, I think we have a lot of confidence in the secondary at this point. So the defense should be good. It really comes down to, can your transfer quarterback play? And can your young wide receivers you're betting on, can they pop and make plays? It's really what it comes down to. The AP poll says that you're the 24th best team. They're betting against your quarterback. They're betting against your wide receivers. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. Bubba, send us to break. It's Talk Sports right here on FanRun Radio.
You're listening to FanRun Radio, the sports humans.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
To break your heart, you tease the children.
Back in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Drink the light, refreshing White Claw Hard Seltzer. Drink it responsibly. Let's head over to FANRUN TV. Check in on the freaks over on YouTube. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Make love to it. And get the comments going in the chat. Perry says, John, stop eating the microphone. Does that mean I'm being too loud? If so, Bubba, keep me slid down. I got a loud voice, brother. Keep me down. Don't let me sound like I'm eating the microphone. What the hell does that mean? Do I look like I'm eating it? Like from the video? I don't know. My bad. We'll try to get that fixed. Perry writes in, we finally have a receiving core of all 4 stars and 5 stars, and everyone freaks out. This year is going to suck, but we have a great future. Chill out, everyone. Well, a couple things there, Perry. If you think we're going to suck this year, I don't think you can tell everybody to chill out. Because, well, A, this could be our last Tennessee football season on earth. You never know. Wars break out. You die. The program shuts down. Aliens come back. I mean, this could be the last one we get. You can't. We only get X amount of these in our lifetime anyway. So I don't like wasting one, especially when your coach is in year 5. Like, begrudgingly, we all accept, like, hey, new coach starts. Yeah, you got to give him a year to get his guys in before you judge him at all. Year 2, you hope you take that leap like all good coaches do. But like year 5, ain't too many elite coaches or top level coaches getting a pass for sucking or for being really bad in year 5. Like that typically doesn't happen in college sports. It's not professional sports. It's not as cyclical, or at least it's not supposed to be during a good coach's run. Sucking's supposed to be like a boring, dreadful 9-3 for the elite programs. Now, if you want to tell me Tennessee's not an elite program, I mean, we can have that conversation. But, like, again, Josh Heupel has shown the makings of having an elite program. Again, ain't too many programs that have won 30 games the last 3 years. And also, I don't want to come across as if we sound like we're freaking out about the wide receivers, because I think at least I feel like I've been on record saying I'm really excited for the young guys to play wide receiver. You're right. Like we do have a core of all 4 stars and 5 stars. Like, that's a good thing. No one's established, of course. We know that, but that's the conversation we were just having about the export list. Like, I'm okay with getting rid of backups that didn't really perform and rolling the dice on some of these freshmen or redshirt freshmen to take a big step. I think we all agree the ceiling is higher with this receiving core. At least I feel very confident that the ceiling is higher than what you had the last 2 years. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to step up to the floor that you've had either. That's the thing about these young players. Like, some of them could pop and be the next Jeremiah Smith, or 90% of what he is. Maybe the next Ryan Williams. I don't know, or close to that. Like, obviously they're not going to be Jeremiah Smith. Like the guy's maybe the best wide receiver ever in college or on his path to being. But, like, yeah, those guys, you might have some pop and become stars. That's exciting. But I'm not going to chill out if we do suck, like you said. I'm not going to chill out. But the point about the great future, like, that is accurate. Like, when you look at this recruiting class that Tennessee currently has on the books, the Faison Brandon, I don't know if you're able to finish with Hyder or Keys, but you got some really talented blue chippers in the boat right now if you're able to keep them and get them on campus. And then all of a sudden you have this really talented class that's on campus right now that we talked about with Isaiah Campbell, with Brame, with the wide receivers we're talking about, with David Sanders. Then all of a sudden you might have something towards the future like you're talking about of it being great. Bubba, when you look at the AP Top 25 and it tells you that you're 10th in the SEC, but maybe more importantly, that 4 teams ahead of you are ranked, or 4 teams are ranked ahead of you on your schedule. 4 teams on your schedule that you have to play. Georgia comes in at number 5. Alabama comes in at number 8. Florida comes in at number 15. Oklahoma getting the rub all the way to 18, which, okay, I guess. Like, is John Mateer worth all that? And maybe he is. Maybe that guy's a stud. Maybe he's just going to be a monster in the SEC and strap them on his back and carry them. But, like, that's what I'm talking about with seeing is believing. I'd like to know something before I'm trying to predict it too heavily. Like, what we've seen from Brent Venables, at least, in the SEC, is that, he ain't got the makings of a varsity athlete or an SEC coach. Maybe last year was just an injury aberration. Maybe they'll be better this year. Maybe. But, like, ranking Oklahoma 6 spots ahead of Tennessee, that irked me a little bit. I don't see how you make that claim.
I mean, all these ranked opponents are kind of spread out throughout the schedule, though.
Yeah, you get, Georgia, the middle of September.
UAB, Mississippi State, bye a week, Arkansas, then at Alabama. So you've got, 3 games, 4 weeks in between that ranked game.
And then how long between Alabama and Oklahoma do you have?
Just 1.5 weeks. You play Kentucky the next week.
You play Kentucky and then Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then how long between Oklahoma and Florida?
2 weeks. Another bye week, and then New Mexico State.
So you got a bye week, New Mexico State, then Florida?
Yeah.
So 3 weeks, essentially. So, yeah, I mean, that's nice and spread out. That's a far cry from the old days. And by old days, I mean, like, the Butch days, 10 years ago, when it felt like all those teams would have been in a row. You think about it, 2016, like, it was Florida, Georgia, Bama, A&M, boom, 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 boom. And, like, it's almost impossible to have your team get up and stay up for that. It's almost impossible to have them to be able to rise to that occasion every single week, back to back to back. So it is nice that Tennessee is able to breathe a little bit. As a fan, it's nice too. You get a little bit of ebbs and flows. You could build up to the big games. Buck asks, of the top 40 schools, how many of them lost their starting quarterback to the portal because of issues like we did with Nico? I mean, I don't think any. I mean, of the top 40, I don't have a list, so let's just look at the top 25, Buck, because I got it in front of me. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't think too many of them lost their quarterback to a situation like Nico did. They definitely didn't lose them in the spring. So if that's a rhetorical question about us struggling, like, yeah, I think we've been pretty consistent saying quarterback is the biggest, question, obviously, this season. Like, quarterback can make or break this season. The question is, what is breaking? Is there enough talent? Is there enough of a floor where breaking is 8-4 or 9-3? Like, I think that's okay. Can you play defense and run the ball good enough to be 9-3 with a chance to pull an upset to go 10-2 or a chance to win a big game at home and get to 10-2? Because that's where I'm at. I'm at where, like, it should be 9-3 with a chance to go 10-2. Jackson, go ahead.
I was just gonna say,
but don't just gonna say it. Just say it, my brother.
All right, it's been months now. It's time to drop all this Nico stuff. It was unfortunate it happened, but quit trying to use that as a reason to drag our program down.
Well, I think that is a heroic approach to take. What you're saying, move on. But, like, I do think it's going to be a talking point, and I do think it's fair to, like, if Tennessee's quarterback play isn't great this year, like, it is going to be hard to judge the coaches and blame the coaches for that. Outside of what I've been saying in terms of like, you should have been locked in December one way or the other. Like, that's the only thing I blame Josh Heupel for and the coaching staff. Like, whenever the rumblings started after the Ohio State game that he was unhappy, and they were out there. We talked about it. The rumors were there that, like, hey, they wanted money. They wanted more money. They needed roster assurances. But, like, you are somewhat to blame because you knew your quarterback was disgruntled. And I think that in the future, I hope Josh Heupel's plan is either, hey, we go all in with this quarterback, or we cut ties and find somebody else. Because I think you could have gone to Illinois or TCU or Baylor or whatever and gotten their quarterback if you did it in January with a big offer. But instead, you half-assed it, like Mike talked about in Breaking Bad. It was a half measure. You did enough to keep Nico happy and to keep him around without really like going all in to satisfy him, and you just kind of straddled the fence, and then it came back up in April. I wish that had been like, hey, we're all in with our quarterback. We're going to be held hostage by this family. Let's just give them what they want. Let's just make them happy because, hey, this is our only option at quarterback. I wish they would have either done that or said, hey, kick rocks, we're going somewhere else. Instead, we did both things where we promised them the world, didn't fully give it to them. We didn't make them happy regardless of whatever the situation was, and they leave, and then you're left high and dry. But, like, I don't think you can tell the story of the 2025 Vols, Jackson, without mentioning that your quarterback left in April. Like, I don't think that's fair. Again, it's heroic. I get what you're saying, like, hey, no excuse, next man up thing. I just think it's a little unfair, especially before the season even starts. Like, do I want to hear about that in November after you've had a full season to try to piece together? No, not really. But I understand people mentioning it now when talking about the transfer quarterback, because that's what puts you behind the eight ball. That's what's puts you from being a top 15 team in the preseason to like there at 24. Because if Nico was still on the roster, you probably come in ranked in the top 15. Probably. And the discussion about the season's a little bit different. We'll continue the conversation throughout. Jordan Dejani, CBS Sports, going to join us in hour 3 to talk some NFL. That means, Bubba, we need to bump up overrated, underrated to hour 2. If you can get us some overrated, underrated, maybe ready for like 8:40 or so. If you could do that, that'll be good. Hour 1 of the books. Hour 2 coming at you. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on FANRUN Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Ever been the coach who realized the team's gear just wasn't up to par? Well, if I'm being honest, that was me. Just a downright irresponsible and plain bad coach. Then SM Athletics changed the game. I want you to picture this. I walk into their store, a coach with a vision. SM Athletics didn't just see a coach. They saw a team's potential, and they delivered custom uniforms so striking. Our team's spirit soared. From cutting-edge apparel to top-notch equipment, SM Athletics transformed our presence. No more unreliable online orders or envying the other team's style. SM Athletics stands for quality, design, and on-time delivery every time. Coaches, elevate your team with SM Athletics. Call 865-966-3434 or visit smathletics.com. Get the best for your team, delivered right and on time. So, elevate your team's game by contacting SM Athletics today.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, FANRUN Radio.
The yodeling boy, Mason Ramsey, is in town today.
You're listening to Talk Sports.
Yodeling boy, he's going to perform at the Knoxville Walmart.
He better stick with the hits and what got him famous. He better yodel. He better sing Lovesick Blues. Airing every day
from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Mason Ramsey sticks to his roots, okay? He's not the kind of guy. He's not going Taylor Swift on.
Yeah, that's exactly what his new single sounds like.
Well, he's trying to branch out.
Well, that's fine. He didn't stay to his roots. He branched out immediately. The first chance he got, he branched out. On 1340 WKGN. Did you hear how quick that happened, Ben Lee? He stuck to his roots and he branched out in the same sentence.
You can stick to your roots and still branch out. That's what trees do. I mean, that's what trees do.
Hour number 2 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Hour number 2. Headlines coming at you. I'll get us started, Bubba. We got some NFL news over the last 30 minutes. As the Buffalo Bills, a lot of people's preseason favorites, they have agreed to terms on a new contract for their running back, James Cook, who was, in the process of kind of halfway holding out. Like, hey, I'm not going to make this too messy. We got the HBO cameras here. Hard Knocks is here. Let's not get too gross. But, like, hey, you going to pay me? I know you didn't really want to pay Stephon Diggs, and you got rid of him, but, like, you going to pay me? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty important. And the Bills are kind of playing chicken with him, but they end up getting a deal done. 4 years, $48 million. He gets $30 million guaranteed. He had talked about wanting $15 million a year, so he doesn't quite get that, but he gets 12.
So kind of leading into that, apparently he skipped the last 4 days of practice, and he came back yesterday because of this contract dispute. So
Right. But to me, like, him coming back was like an act of good faith. It wasn't like it got messy. Like, it was like, hey, I'm not practicing, but, like, I'm here, I'm around. I'm not going to get out there and run around and get hit or nothing. Because sometimes these holdouts get messy. Like, where you have Trey Hendrickson posting, like, hey, I'm going to Florida. I'm getting out of the whole entire state. I'm getting out of here. And then you have some guys that's just like, hey, I'm not going to get on the field and get hit and run around, but I'm going to be around the team. Pay me, though. I thought James Cook on a scale of 1 to 10 was like a 3 in terms of how uncomfortable he made the team. And even then, he takes a little bit of a discount from what he wanted. I think Kyron Williams got $11 million a year, basically. So that kind of sets the market for Cook. Now, I think Cook is better than Kyron Williams, so him getting an extra $1 million, I think, is fair. But $30 million guaranteed as the pretty talented running back gets to stay with the Buffalo Bills, and they get to kind of move on and lock up and just keep the vibes up moving forward.
Unfortunate news for Vikings receiver Rondale Moore, missing his 2nd straight NFL season. And at some point, you got to wonder, will he get a 3rd chance?
Yeah, guy was explosive. You know, like I still think of like he's a name that busted on the scene. He had a couple moments with the Cardinals, I feel like, where he showed some flashes that he could play in the NFL. But when I think of Rondale Moore, I still think back to that game where he just ran all over Ohio State. I want to say as a freshman at Purdue, just looking like the best athlete on the field. Like, you thought he would be a guy that got to the NFL and made a huge impact, and that's never happened. And like Bubba says, at this point, you got to wonder if it ever will happen. You got to wonder if he ever is able to kind of get back and do anything. I mean, 1,200 total yards in his career through the first, I guess you'll say now, the first 5 seasons. Got drafted in 2021. Of course, didn't play in 24. Not going to play in 25. 430 yards, 414 yards, 352, 3 career receiving touchdowns. Yeah, feels like it's probably a wrap for him, Bubba.
Speaking of injuries, Packers quarterback Jordan Love going
where?
Thumb surgery. Words are hard sometimes. They say he's not going to miss any time like for the season, but you got to wonder how that's going to affect, because then behind him is, former Titans quarterback Malik Willis as their number 2 option. And if you're the Packers, you're hoping that the kid can throw, because if not, well, then good luck, Chuck.
Kind of miss Malik Willis.
Wasn't too bad at Liberty.
So you're saying Jordan Love banged up right now?
He is.
Got Matthew Stafford banged up in Los Angeles. So, I mean, those are two of the 5 teams in the NFC, I think, that are kind of at the top, right? I mean, that's fair to say. From preseason expectations wise, like the Rams and Packers, you could really say maybe 2 of the top 4 teams. But we'll say 5 just to be safe. And both have quarterback health issues. Now, of course, Jordan Love much younger than Matthew Stafford, but what'd you say his ailment was?
His injury?
Yeah. Did you specify like what he's dealing with?
Torn ligament in his left thumb. So I guess it's not throwing hand, so it's not that serious.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too bad. That doesn't feel too serious. You try to get that better, I guess, just by rest. I mean, I don't know. Do you have surgery for a messed up ligament in your thumb? I don't know.
Speaking of not too serious, Najee Harris, running back with one eye, coming back.
He doesn't have one eye.
I know.
They didn't knock his eye out, right?
It's cool. We're going to call him the Cyclops from now on.
Fireworks are dangerous, man. Like, I don't understand how any NFL player would see what happened.
Back it up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
To see what happened to Jason Pierre-Paul and then still get out there and handle fireworks.
I think guys think that's cool.
No.
I could have a lobster hand if I play with this really dangerous fuse and gunpowder.
Nobody looked at Jason Pierre-Paul's hand and thought, man, that's cool. I wish I had one. Nobody thought that. Like, how did you watch that guy almost ruin his career and life? And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to mess with fireworks too. They're not even that fun, bro. It's not even that cool to shoot fireworks.
What else is not cool, John, is inside jokes that go too far. And that'd be the case for John Mateer, as he came out to issue a statement after, deleting and changing his previous Venmo information. And he says, the allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. I have never bet on sports. I understand the seriousness of that matter, but recognize that, taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling.
Do we care about this story at all? Because I got to be honest, like I don't care about it. Like,
not really.
They're not going to kick him off the team. It's no scandal. Even if it's like not his friend and it's like a local bookie or whatever. Like, I doubt he's betting enough money in 2022 to really matter. Now, if this would have been last year, where they catch him in the season this year doing that, I might have a little bit of a different answer, maybe. Maybe if it's like while the season's going on and he's Venmoing his friend saying something that dumb, like, yeah, sure, make that a scandal. But something from 2022, I'm all right. If that's your smoking gun, if Shohei Ohtani still gets to play in the MLB, like I'm good with John Mateer playing college football.
So does the amount not matter to you?
Not really. Yeah.
If you put down like $10K on this game.
Yeah, I just don't think he's Venmoing his friend $10K.
I mean, I don't either, but
or Venmoing anybody $10K. Like Venmo has some pretty strict like limits that you could send somebody. Yeah, sure, man. If he was betting $2,500 and sending him $2,500, like that's a little bit different than him sending him. But in my head, like there's going to be like a $20 Venmo attached to this. Like I'm fine if the starting quarterback wants to bet even $100 on two teams that he's not playing for. He's not playing for USC or UCLA, so I don't have an issue with this. Now, when you have the guys that like have the FanDuel accounts and they start getting down that slippery slope, like that's a little different. Like the Iowa State guys that they had and Iowa guys, I believe they had that were just like, actively putting a lot of bets in. That's a little bit different than like a one-off. Oh, we got you a Venmo receipt of you saying sports gambling. Like, Next headline, please.
Speaking of not gambling related at all, Pete Alonso, the polar bear, officially becomes the Mets' all-time home run leader off of Braves affiliate and Braves, radio. Spencer Strider.
Yeah, they whipped Spencer Strider's ass last night. That was a very weird game, and I've told you I'm kind of keeping up with it now just because the Reds are in a race, so I was kind of keeping up with both the Reds game and the Mets game because that's who we're chasing for a playoff spot. And, the Reds won comfortably last night. They were up 6-0, ended up winning 6-1. And as I checked that, I was like, okay, 6-0, that's good. And I was like, boom, 5-5, Braves Mets. Wow, the Braves just scored 4 runs to tie the game. They're booing at Citi Field. This is great. And then next thing I knew, the Mets just started scoring and kept scoring and did it all basically with 2 outs, I'm pretty sure. Pete Alonso hit 2 home runs, I believe.
Yeah, but that was just, garbage time.
Yeah, sure. The first one wasn't. The first one made it 5-1. The second one, though, was garbage time. It made it 11-5, a little solo shot. But the Mets finally won again.
The New York Mets.
Thanks for nothing, Braves.
It's all about the Mets, Spider-Man.
Spencer Strider. I was told that guy was like just a Cy Young type of stud. I look at it now. He's got an ERA of basically 4.7. That's not Cy Young stuff. That's not good starter stuff.
That's Cy old.
What the hell's happened? Can some of my Braves friends tell me what the hell's happened to Strider? What's happened? Also, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim turned a triple play last night.
Was it cool looking? I didn't.
It was first and second. They turned it on Shohei Ohtani. So, that makes it cooler. Of course, there's no outs.
Tried to give into it a little bit, with all this drama going down for him.
Nah, it was just he hit a hard line drive up the middle. There was runners on first and second. Neto catches the ball on the run. Basically is already on second base where a guy, was a couple steps off. Boom, there's 2 outs already. And then a quick throw back to first where they tagged the runner out. It was probably the fastest triple play in history. Like that triple play happened. The play was literally like 2 seconds. I can't imagine there's been a faster triple play turned than that one. And it's extra cool that it happened to Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, you're just anti-Shohei?
No, it's just like I don't know if the Angels are really worried about wins and losses at this point. It feels like they're not making the playoffs, of course. So maybe they don't care, but 5-5, two guys on, no outs with Shohei up at bat. Like if you're a fan that really cares about winning, you're like, oh man, this is about to be miserable. He's probably going to hit a home run. Oh my God. And then boom, next thing you know, you're out of the jam completely, triple play. That's pretty cool.
Angels Ohtani was pretty cool. Yeah, it was something else. So what else is something else is the Brewers.
He did seem cooler as an angel. That is true.
The Brew Crew continues on over Paul Skeens. So pretty interesting that these young prospects here, these young pitchers are kind of getting abused and used.
I mean, Skeens has still been awesome this year, but yeah, they roughed him up last night. But he's still he's don't put him in the Spencer Strider category, because Strider, I told you, his ERA was up to 4.7. Like Paul Skeens gave up 4 runs last night in 4 innings, and that moved his ERA up to 2.13. So like still a little bit different. Still a lot different. Still a completely different weight class. All right, so those Skeens there with Strider.
And my last MLB headline is that it announces the full 2025 postseason schedule. Wildcard Series starting September 30th, Division Series on October 4th, and the Championship Series beginning October 12th and 13th.
Do they have the World Series?
October 24th.
You weren't going to give us that. You were just going to bury the biggest one.
You forgot the World Series is sometime after that.
Well, yeah, I would have figured that out, but I didn't know if they had that slotted already. So October 24th. All right, so maybe we don't get too much November baseball. I don't like when my baseball gets to November. I'd prefer it all be done by Halloween, but I understand they usually got to go that first week of November, but I don't love it.
Keyword here, commencing October 24th.
Oh, the World Series commences?
Yeah.
That means ends, right?
I believe so.
Well, you can't tell. No, they can't. Wait. Does commence mean to end? I always think it means to end. No, commences means the opposite. Commence means start.
So I guess so.
You lured me into that. I don't know if I actually thought commence meant to end or not, but you definitely. I would have to think about it for sure. Like I was thinking commencement speech, because like commencement speech is usually at graduation, right?
Yeah.
But like it's at the beginning of graduation, I'm pretty sure, right or no?
Oh, I always thought it was like at the end.
Is it at the end?
I don't know. It's been years since I've graduated.
Jackson, it's not been that long since you graduated. Did you guys do commencement speeches?
A few people did.
Were they at the beginning of graduation or the end of graduation? Because the only thing at the end of graduation I remember, like as class president, very popular, I went up and told them to turn the tassels. I didn't give a speech or nothing. It was just like I go up and just like, hey, now everybody turn your tassels. We did it. Your parents can't say you're losers anymore. Time to go to the factory. Time to go to work.
I want to say that like the valedictorian, the salutatorian gave their speeches before we walked and got our diplomas.
Yeah. Before it commences.
A closing.
Yeah. Oh, wait. When something commences, it definitely has begun. I mean, I know it's easy to say now that I know the answer, but.
Yeah, I'd say they had their commencement speeches.
Bubba just completely made us look like buffoons.
That's what I'm here for, John.
How the hell would they already know, Bubba, when the World Series commences? It's not one game.
Well, John, there's some deeper down in the archives.
What?
I don't know.
Something deeper down in the archives? Is that what you said? What the hell does that mean? How does that have anything to do with what I'm talking about?
Well, you said, how would they know in the world? And you said one game, and I was like, in my head, I was thinking, a time traveler. Oh, they know. They always know. They wrote the script for it somewhere.
Well, you said the championship series starts, I believe, October 12th. Didn't you?
I did.
So just logistically speaking, Bubba, if the championship series went to 7 games and the World Series went to 7 games, that's 14 days.
Yeah, they're playing doubleheaders back to back, John.
Use your damn brain. You made us both look like buffoons here.
I'll just blame it on past trauma like Sha'Carri Richardson did in her dispute against Christian Coleman.
Wait, with Christian Coleman?
Yeah, that was her boyfriend.
Christian Coleman's her boyfriend?
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch the video of Sha'Carri Richardson beating up her boyfriend at the airport. That was Christian Coleman she beat up? VFL?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why are you running around with that woman, Christian? That fast woman, literally. So she beat his ass at the airport. Now she's apologizing?
Yep.
Our Christian Coleman?
Yeah. Track star.
I don't know how I feel about that. If you had told me that they were together even before that she beat his ass and went viral, like, I still don't know how I would have felt about that.
They're just trying to make the fastest human possible.
Well, there is that. Like, I do like when elite athletes get it on because, like, we're pretty much guaranteed an elite athlete, and who knows, maybe I should probably send it to LSU. Probably not going to go to Tennessee, but either way, like, for America, that'd be good. Like, maybe it'd have a future Olympian. But I don't think I would have liked it. Now that I know she beat his ass, I definitely don't like it. That's tough. Okay. Good betcha headlines. Save some for the next hour. We'll talk some more football after the break. Stick with us.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is FANRUN Radio.
All you can eat Wednesday tonight with your Knoxville Smokies. For less than $30, you get a ticket into the game, all you can eat barbecue, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, potato chips, Pepsi products, and more. Anyone else getting hungry? See you tonight.
Smokies! Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life. Days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
How smooth, Bubba. What a song. What a band. What a feeling it gives you. Elegant, smooth. Just like our friends at Inward Half. If you need some new golf apparel, some new, pretty, eye-popping, attention-grabbing polos, even if you're not a golfer. I'm not a golfer. I still rock mine. Some of my best game day outfits are courtesy of Inward Half. Check them out online at inwardhalf.com. They got something for the entire family. If you're listening, maybe you got somebody's birthday coming up. You don't know what to get them. Give them the gift of comfort. And fashion, inwardhalf.com. We appreciate them for their support. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Evan. Those are my guys over there. Got a running back over to YouTube and continuing the conversation we had before the news. Nico Iamaleava gone, of course. We know that. Not a lot of teams are having to replace their quarterback in the spring, but I do think if you look at the top 25, a lot of those teams in the top 25 are replacing their quarterback. Now, you could say, like, Arch Manning was already there. That's fine, but he wasn't their starting quarterback last year. Right? I mean, like, do you consider him a returning starter? You can, but, like,
I mean, I wouldn't call him a returning starter.
Right.
He's a returning player.
Right, but he's a new quarterback, though, right?
Yeah.
I know he got a couple reps in games, but, like, he's
mostly running the ball, by the way, too.
Sure. But he's not the guy that got them to the playoffs last year. We could at least agree on that. He is not the reason they made the playoffs. He is not the guy who helped lead them to the playoffs. He didn't mess it up in the games he played, but he didn't lead them there. Ohio State, new quarterback. Georgia, new quarterback. Notre Dame, new quarterback. Oregon, new quarterback. Alabama, new quarterback. Miami, new quarterback. So, like, of the top 10 teams, you really only have, what, Penn State, Clemson, and LSU as guys returning quarterbacks? That, I don't know in a given year how many teams usually have a returning quarterback or not, but, like, 3 out of 10 feels low. When you look at teams in the SEC that are on your schedule, let's just start with the ones that are ranked ahead of you. Like, because we said there's 4 teams ahead of you. Georgia, Bama, Oklahoma, all new quarterbacks. Florida, DJ Lagway was there. DJ Lagway played. DJ Lagway was good. I'll take that back. I don't think he was good. I think he showed some flashes, but overall was pretty actually underwhelming. But, like, DJ Lagway has been pretty banged up. They asked Billy Napier earlier this week, like, hey, if the game was tomorrow, would DJ Lagway play? And he just, all he would say was, game ain't tomorrow. The real world is far too confusing as it is. I don't have time for your hypotheticals. Now, you could say that DJ Lagway is a proven SEC starter, but I don't even know if that's fair. Am I being too harsh by saying he's not a proven SEC starter? Maybe
that's fair.
Maybe a proven SEC starter. Maybe he's proven he can do that, but, like, he's not proven that he's a top half SEC starter.
All right, so pardon me for a little. Are you going through just quarterbacks from the SEC that are returning, or just overall, like, top 10, top 25? Or
at that point, I was just doing the 4 teams on our schedule that are ranked ahead of us because I just had the AP top 25 still pulled up.
Okay, I was going to say Illinois, I think, is the first team that I see here. Like, just scrolling through the AP top 25 that returned, their quarterback, Luke Altmaier.
Well, I mean, Penn State, Clemson, and LSU, those 3 that I mentioned. Like Aller, Klubnik, and Nussmeier, those guys are all back. Now, we don't really have to worry about any of those, right now. Who knows? Maybe in a playoff game you would. But by then, I think if Tennessee makes a playoff, of course, that means something's gone right with the quarterback position. But, I mean, Sam Levitt as well right there at number 11. He's still there. So I don't know what the hell list you're looking at, Bubba, but there is some returning quarterbacks.
Okay,
there.
all right.
If you're doing just SEC, like, I mean, the teams in the top 25, like Lenora Sellers, Marcel Reed, both guys that played. Of course, Sellers played more. His hype much higher than Marcel Reed's. Ole Miss breaking in a new guy. So, like, I don't think it's unusual to have to be breaking in a new quarterback. So, from Jackson's point about Nico, when it comes to that, I do think, Jackson, you're right. Hey, you got a new quarterback this year. Were you planning on having a new quarterback? No, but guess what? You're not special. A lot of teams have a new quarterback. But, of course, the difference is the timing. The timing. That's what makes all of that a lot tougher to try to project. Buck writes in, you don't have the pieces that you did last year. It's not just a quarterback gone. Sure, they made improvements on D, maybe the O-line, but overall this team is a lot weaker. Can you say that, though, Buck? Like, does that equal out? Does that line up? If you say that the defense, when you tell me they made improvements on D, that makes me think that you think the defense has improved. Now, maybe I'm misrepresenting what you're saying, but when you tell me that you made improvements on D, that means to me that you think it's upgraded. And if the O-line is improved, how does the team overall get worse? Unless you're a big Nico believer, which I don't think a lot of people are or paint themselves as a big Nico believer at this point, of August. I think we're trying to really say, like, hey, he was nothing special. Any quarterback could have came in and got shut out in the first half of 3 straight games. Like, I think that's kind of been the narrative. So, like, if you tell me the offensive line might be awesome this year. It might be. I've been on record that I think it's going to be improved from last year pretty much by default. Dane Davis, sorry if you're getting your workout in listening. Shout out to you. But, like, David Sanders is going to be better year one than you were last year. Same for John Campbell. Junior version of Lance Hurd better be a lot better than sophomore version of Lance Hurd. Or else we got big problems just as a culture, just as a program overall. Like, people like are so quick to find problems with our culture and problems like with what Josh Heupel's running. If Lance Hurd is not better than he was last year, to me that might be a bigger red flag than Nico leaving in April. If you get this guy in here and he didn't get any better conditioned, because like a part of Lance Hurd's problems last year was that he was just out of shape at the beginning. You know what I mean? The first month of the season, you're trying to get him into shape. Like, if he's been here for 2 years and you ain't got him into shape yet, like that's a much bigger culture program problem than anything else we're talking about. Just him being in shape makes him a better player. If you go by position, Buck says, on paper it looks weaker.
What roster is he looking at?
Well, he doesn't think Aguilar's an upgrade, and he thinks the wide receivers are definitely an issue, which, okay, like, if you don't think Aguilar's an upgrade, I don't disagree there. The hope is that Aguilar can hit some deep balls that makes your offense click a little better. Because even me, like somebody that was one of, if not the biggest Nico supporter, like, I think even I would say, like, hey, the deep ball, the offense didn't click. Like, we can at least all agree on that. Now, whether or not you blame the offensive line, you blame those receivers, or you blame Nico, or the truth is it's everybody, pulling together in the wrong direction. I think I blame all three of them, the coaches included, maybe make them 4 of them. Like, no matter who you blame or how much, what percentage of the pie chart you pass out, I think we'd all come to the same conclusion that the offense didn't click last year. Right? It didn't click. Now, Nico made some clutch plays against Florida and Alabama. We talked about those. Can Joey make those? I don't know. Because when you're playing the defensive first type of ball, whenever you're like, hey, we're going to run the ball and play defense, a lot of times you're going to find yourself in games in the second half where you got to kind of make some plays. Against Florida, you made some clutch plays. You were able to pull a victory out when it looked like you were going to lose. Against Alabama, there were times in that second half where you had to get some stops. You had to find a way to score a touchdown. You had to get some more stops. The players all had to make some pretty clutch plays in the second half. Team made them for the most part. Against Arkansas, no. Against Georgia, no. But, hey, you did it 10 times. When you look at the running backs, like, do you look at running backs being worse next year without Dylan Sampson?
No.
Bubba,
you look like you've seen a ghost. I mean, you're saying
when you
yes.
don't have Dylan Sampson, you definitely take a decline.
Okay.
Granted, you don't know how much that decline is going to be.
Why do you say that? Just because of how good Dylan Sampson is?
Yes.
Would you have felt the same way last year at this time when we talk about replacing Jalen Wright with Dylan Sampson?
I mean, yeah, because we saw flashes of, Dylan Sampson beforehand.
Right, but I'm saying, would you have said that we were taking a step back replacing
probably
Jalen Wright?
I mean, you take away, some all SEC guys. And
do you think we actually took a step back last year with Dylan Sampson?
No. If anything, we upgraded. One of his, most productive years as a running back. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm willing to say we upgraded. I thought Jalen Wright was pretty special. Definitely had the home run speed, but Dylan Sampson was obviously awesome too. So, my point there was I think we thought we were going to take some steps back after all these running backs left. Hey, Tyon Evans is leaving. Oh, how are we going to do that? And
I don't think it's going to be a big step back. I trust my fellow Beaver, big bad Deshaun Bishop. I trust Peyton Lewis. I trust Star Thomas. If my coaches trust Star Thomas.
Okay. So, then why do you think we're going to take a step back then?
Just because we don't know we don't know the type of production and output they're going to bring.
No, we don't. But it kind of ties into what I'm talking about with how many wins Josh Heupel, the team's ranked ahead of him, and Josh Heupel having 30 wins and kind of having a proof of concept. Does the running game not have a proof of concept at this point? Hey, we're pretty much going to have 5 yards of carry, regardless of who the running back is. When you look at the stats, Dylan Sampson's overall numbers were great, and his touchdowns were great, but the actual rushing production of the team was pretty much in line with what it always is. You know what I mean? A lot of that was the same as it has been. A lot of that's still hey, you're getting 5 yards of carry. Anywhere from 5.1, 5.3 yards of carry, whatever. You're still doing that.
So I think the answer to this question really comes down to what you determine as being a downgrade. Because in my eyes, we're taking one guy who had over 1,000 yards. What do you have, 1,400 yards on the ground?
I believe so.
And we're moving into a season where we might have 3 guys that contribute to something like 1,800 yards, which to me, that isn't a decrease in production just because it goes from one guy having all those numbers versus 3 guys splitting. If at the end of the day, if we still rush for over 2,000 yards.
Exactly. And, and maybe we don't, but, if big, bad Deshaun Bishop is actually big and bad, then he should be better next year, this upcoming season than he was last year too. You know what I mean? Star Thomas should, everyone keeps talking about how good he is. So, they call it by committee, right? The running back by committee. I think the trio should be able to equal what the duo did last year, or at least come close to it. Do I think they'll have the same amount of touchdowns? No. And quite frankly, I hope they don't, because I hope we have some more through the air. You know what I mean? I hope that the passing game is back to where the running backs maybe don't even have the same amount of yards of production. But, hey, you sprinkle in a couple more home runs, because Dylan Sampson, I think, got worn down last year. Like I think Dylan Sampson having to be the bell cow, kind of took away his home run speed. He didn't really have too many breakaway runs last year. So hopefully that's back on the table from a couple guys because they're fresher. And, yeah, hopefully the offense doesn't have to just run the ball as much or rely on just the running attack. Hopefully the passing down the field opens that up a little bit. That's what the frustrating part is that I think if you had an established quarterback, we'd be looking at this season a lot differently. Not to beat the dead horse, but like if you had that guy, you would be looking at it differently. Instead, like all offseason, every Tennessee football conversation that we've had, I don't know how other shows are doing it or other people in town or how you and your friends are when you guys talk football. But like for me, it always comes back to, gotta hope the quarterback's good, man. Because the quarterback could be bad. This could all be derailed. Like you could be 7-5 if the quarterback is bad. You could be 11-1 if the quarterback is good. There's a lot of variance there. So when we're looking at those other schools, Bubba, and talking about the established quarterbacks and everything, and in the SEC and on our schedule and everything, like I do feel like we have the most variance. Do I think DJ Lagway is awesome? I find him to be a little overrated. But like I don't think he's going to be the reason that they go 6-6 or 7-5. Like I think their schedule is the reason they're doing that. Could he elevate them maybe to 10-2 or 11-1? Maybe. But like I think if they lose, we'll look and say, oh yeah, it makes sense. Look how many ranked teams they had to play. Same for John Mateer. Like if they go 8-4, 9-3, it's kind of like, that schedule's tough. Oklahoma, quite didn't have the roster they thought they did, yada, 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 Brent Venables. If Tennessee is bad next year or this upcoming season, I guess we can't say next year, it's in 2 weeks. If Tennessee is bad this year, I feel pretty confident that it'll be because of the quarterback. And like the quarterback could take us from 11-1, and they could be the reason we go 7-5. There's a lot of variance there that I don't think other schools have. You could maybe argue Georgia and Alabama have that type of variance, but their rosters are so good that they should still even be able to sleepwalk to 9-3. Unless the quarterback's just actively throwing the ball like to the other team, just nonstop. So we'll end this Tennessee football conversation the way I end most of them. Really hope Joey Aguilar's good. Really, really hope he's up for the challenge. Really hope the offense clicks again. Overrated, underrated, coming up next. Stick with us as Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
You're listening to FanRun Radio, the sports humans.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'spro-knoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them FanRun sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Citizens National Bank. You want a bank that lets you bank when and where you want to. Your local branch, the grocery store, your computer, your phone, it's up to you. You want people who care about taking care of you and your money too. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
Overrated. Very overrated.
It's overrated.
Overrated, my friend.
Overrated. I'm going to tell you why. I think that's a solid rated right there. It's perfect rated.
He underrated, man. He got some swag. He has some real swag. Lobsters are underrated. They don't die.
Lobsters are indeed underrated because, one, they taste kind of good, and they don't die, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a lobster doctor. Although I could be a lobster doctor. Think about that for a second, John. Anyways, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Sorry, John, I had your mic cut off there.
It means it's trivia night.
Where?
No free pub.
Oh, well then why even suggest a trivia night? It could be trivia night every day of the week, depending on where you go.
Well, that is true. I just typically play trivia with my friends somewhere.
But here on Talk Sports.
It is trivia night at Barley's. Maybe I tell the boys, hey, let's go to Barley's.
On Wednesdays on Talk Sports. It's overrated, underrated, John.
I try to do my sports trivia at Barley's on Thursdays. I don't want to go back-to-back nights.
Same questions?
No, not same questions. Just one's sports and one's general at Barley's. So no, it's not even the same category. It's just easier to win the sports trivia. I feel more locked in. I got an advantage over everybody there as the smartest man.
Too many things that happen in a year, and then you got to figure out the.
Yeah. Either way, let's do overrated, underrated. Come on, we only got a couple minutes. Give the people what they want. They love over under.
First up, we have ballpark food, like hot dogs, some weirdly shaped pretzels and nachos.
I was waiting for the drum. I saw a picture go viral yesterday of I guess they was at a ballpark somewhere and they're doing like either $1 or $2 hot dogs, and the guy was carrying 7 of them around, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this guy doing with all these?" And he didn't have anything on the hot dogs. He just had like a big pool of mustard next to it. I guess he was going to dip in every bite, which seemed crazy, but also seemed kind of brilliant. I don't ever dip my hot dogs, but that might actually be pretty smart. I don't know. Whenever I put mustard on hot dogs, I always put them on top. But maybe the key is just to have some dipping sauce and dip your hot dogs. But ultimately, I don't like eating at stadiums, typically. I don't like eating at stadiums because I don't want to take my food to my seat because you're already cramped in there so much that, like, it's not comfortable. I don't want to spill anything on anybody. And I also don't want to have, like, the empty plates or whatever under me afterwards where I'm stepping on them or people are kicking them over whenever they're coming in and out of the aisle. So in general, I think eating at the ballpark is overrated. I always try to eat beforehand or maybe just grab some popcorn, maybe a hot dog if I'm in a pinch, maybe, but even then, no, not usually. So typically I'll go very overrated here, especially when you look at like the specialty food. I don't want to pay $25 for your giant hot dog just so I can post a social media clip. I'm good. I don't want your stupid Colt-shaped pretzel, horseshoe-shaped pretzel that looks like poop. I'm good. I'm all right on that. I go very overrated. Just give me a pizza if I'm in a pinch. Like the Titans did have some good pizza when I'd go to Titans games. They got some good pizza I'd eat. Shout out to them. Is it Slim and Huskies or whatever? Slim Huskies. It's kind of an oxymoron. You can't be Slim and Husky. Huh?
Sorry. I pressed something on my laptop.
You're struggling today, huh, Jackson? Just when I need you the most. So what was that sound?
It was your recording.
Oh, I was going to say that guy sounded dumb as hell, but it was me?
Yeah, that guy did sound.
Oh, no, I've roasted myself.
Ignoramus.
Shout out to Cracker Barrel for ruining the vibe. And also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, didn't it, what to be like, it used to have 4 things, right? Because now they only got 3 things at Cracker Barrel in these peg games. Now it's like 1, you're a genius. 2, oh, you're rocking, but in the chair or something stupid. And 3, I try again. They got rid of the insults. But I swear back in my day there were 4. And it was 1, genius. 2, pretty smart. 3, just plain dumb. And 4, ignoramus.
Yeah.
That's right?
Sounds that way.
Okay. I feel pretty confident in that now. You know, this damn Mandela effect and getting old, misremembering stuff. Who knows? But like, I'm 90% sure that it used to be that 1, genius. 2, pretty smart. 3, just plain dumb. And 4, ignoramus. Which I gotta be honest, what is that?
An ignoramus?
Yeah, like what is that? Is that an actual thing?
We're about to stall for time as we look it up. Ignoramus. It's hard to spell.
Man, I know they're spelling it incorrectly on there. Like, I get that, but like...
It is an ignorant or stupid person.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Ignoramus. All right. I've never used that like in a sentence or anything. It's spelled with an I, not an E, which I understand the Cracker Barrel is trying to be ironic. I get that, but have you been to a new one yet? Where they've revamped them and remodeled them all?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to a Cracker Barrel.
I go to Cracker Barrel. I go to Cracker Barrel a lot. One of my favorite things to do right now is to go get me an egg sandwich from Cracker Barrel.
Instead of just making one of those yourself?
Sometimes you ain't got time to make food at home. Sometimes you want to get out of the house, Bubba. And then also, like, they let you get pancakes as a side for a couple extra dollars. So I get me an egg sandwich and 2 pancakes for like $9. That's pretty good.
All right, up next. Corner stores like a Walgreens or CVS, are they overrated or underrated?
You know, I gotta go overrated when it comes to just getting stuff like out of the corner store, just because, like, hey, they are going to be really, really expensive. But where I live, there is one right next to me and right across from me. There is one right there that I can go to the corner store and easily do that. That's possible. But if you're going to go get like a 2-liter soda, it's going to be like $4.50. If you're going to go get deodorant, it's going to be $8. That's all going to be really expensive. But also, it's nice to be able to get your medicine there. That's what I go to Walgreens and CVS for. That's what I do it for. I don't try to go to get anything else from there. But every now and then I get like my breath mints from there. They'll send me like a coupon.
For like college kids, it's very convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. For college kids? I mean, I guess like on campus. I mean, yeah, whenever I was on campus, so I'd be like
quick medication.
Yeah, you pop in, you grab some stuff there. That would be okay. That'd be all right. Got anything else, Bubba?
Dams.
Dams? Like a beaver?
Kind of. Or like Hoover.
I want to see a dam. Like I do like videos like when a dam like opens up and the water gets going out of it. Like that's kind of cool. That provides something for us. Like I understand like the electricity and stuff it provides and everything there. Like they're useful. TVA. I used to go like camping somewhere. There was a dam that you kind of walk up to, and it was kind of cool watching like the drop and everything. But I don't really interact with those too much. As a beaver yourself, Bubba, how do you feel about dams?
Love them.
Yeah?
Obsessed with them.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like Hoover Dam?
I always wanted to go there. I hear it's pretty massive.
That seems underwhelming, like whenever I see pictures of it.
I just like the idea of being at the dam and going fishing and stuff like that. But also, unrelated to anything, I was watching a documentary the other night about salmon rehabilitation.
Okay.
And they talk about, like, you know, their habitat. It's supposed to, like, basically be this, like, course of life where they go downstream and upstream and, like, all the way around.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of them just kind of get stuck at these dams and, like, hatcheries there. And that kind of made me a little sad. Because it's like they're trying to release these fish. And, like, it makes me wonder, okay, I'm fishing at the dam. How many of these fish are trying to be rehabbed into the world? And I'm just plucking them up with my, you know, little metal hook. Anyways, I think dams are underrated. I love hydroelectricity.
Spoken like a true beaver. All right. Well, hour 2 in the books. We'll kick off hour 3 with some headlines. We'll do Jordan DeJani, CBS Sports. We'll talk some NFL coming up in hour 3. Stay locked in on FANRUN Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. FANRUN Radio.
Is your smile ready for the spotlight? Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco, and at Knoxville Smiles, we make every visit a reason to smile. From routine cleanings to dazzling cosmetic treatments, our experienced team uses the latest technology to keep your teeth healthy and your smile bright. With a warm, welcoming atmosphere and personalized care, we're here to make sure you leave feeling your best. Don't wait. Your perfect smile is just a call away. Book your appointment today at 865-539-1776 or online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Round 3.
The world's greatest radio show. The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
Power Rankings, Tuesday Trivia. John Reed and Cody going wild, no Olivia. Wood grain on my leather seats. I got the whole team eating like I'm Johnny Eats. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Talk sports while I'm chewing a Zen, ayy. Talk sports while I'm riding to work. All the ops take a ride in a hearse. East Knoxville. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming from 7 to 10. All the ops take a ride.
Hour number 3 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Let's hit some hour 3 headlines. Jackson, what you got for us? I'm just kidding, Jackson. I know you don't have any headlines, Bubba. You got them. You got anything for the people? You got news?
We got a few. So, because I got to say this, John, in racing, two things happen.
God, so baseball and racing.
I know.
You know, I always say I miss Cody's nonsense, or I don't like his nonsense headlines, but I think I'd rather hear about the politics than all this damn baseball and racing and baseball and racing. At least mix me in some wrestling, Bubba. Give me some wrestling. Give me a Karrion Kross update. Just give me something.
In wrestling, Naomi, a.k.a. Trinity Fatu, might be a mother.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, she apparently there's plans with her the other night, and she was not on the show, I believe.
Oh, really?
Or that's a report I saw, or I could be misreading it and misinterpreting it. But yeah,
that'd be kind of bad timing for her since she's the champion. I mean, never bad time to have a kid or whatever. I mean, unless you're like, I guess in like high school or something, or junior high, or like your husband's deployed in the military and
for 14 months. And he's got a kid.
Yeah, the neighbor or whatever has been around, and that'd be a bad time to have a kid, I guess. But like, you finally get the championship belts. Yeah, if she has that run kind of derailed, that'd be unfortunate for her from a career standpoint.
In racing, particularly dirt racing, Tony Stewart's team, they're losing their probably most prolific driver. His name is Donnie Schatz. He's from North Dakota. I know you're snoozing over there, but that's okay, John. Keep snoozing.
No, some people like racing. I'm trying to.
There's a couple of good old boys out there who know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's some people that like racing. It's just that the headlines you give me are just like not even like the big guys. It's like hipster racing.
Oh no, this is blue collar, pure.
Yeah, you're telling me what basically is going on down at the Maryville.
You want the modern? All right,
you're telling me basically what's happening at like 411, like the Maryville track over there. Like you're telling me who's winning there, and like I mean, locally people maybe care, but like I don't.
All right, you want to talk about the big boys?
Yeah,
the
big
NASCAR
boys.
driver Shaven Gisbergen makes history by becoming the first rookie to win 4 races in a single season.
4 races in a single season?
Yep.
In the main on the main circuit?
All 4 road courses.
So he's just a road course prodigy.
Yeah.
How old is he? Is he like a typical rookie age, or is he like super old?
He's like mid-30s.
Okay, so kind of like when Juan Pablo Montoya came over or whatever, and it's like, he used to race over here, now he's coming over here. Okay, so he's a rookie, but not really a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Not as impressive. Like it's like Chris Winkie winning the Heisman. Like, I mean, it came in at 28 as a freshman. Like, okay, whatever, who cares? But still impressive to win 4 races, but I guess he's just a road course maniac.
And there's also a scandal for NASCAR, too.
Okay.
Apparently
what's Bubba done now?
A person was, maybe I was scammed out of a couple of $1,000s because of a fake driver trying to seduce me on their page. And that's what happened with Tony Breidinger, where somebody imitated her and made her a spam account, and they suckered some people out of money. And now these people want legal action. And I say to you, don't get got by online baddies.
That's what they say.
That's what I say.
Sportico about to release their NFL valuations, like, the franchise value. The top 5. You want to take a guess at the top 5 most valuable NFL franchises?
Cowboys.
Number 1, $12.8 billion.
Go with the Raiders.
Not a bad guess, I don't think. With their history and their location.
Not in the top 5. That's a shame. Can't be the Packers because they're owned by the common people. Or so they say. I'm just going to name off every franchise here.
I like the Raiders' guess.
We'll go with the Chicago Bears, John.
Nope. You're doing bad.
We'll go with the Washington Commanders.
No, see, the Cowboys make sense. Obviously, they're the best.
The Miami Dolphins.
Number
John.
2 is a
the
little
Tampa
bit.
Bay Buccaneers.
See, you're getting colder.
New Orleans Saints.
No, oh God, hopefully not. Number 2 is the Los Angeles Rams. You got to think L.A.
I prefer St. Louis Rams, John.
That big ass new stadium they have.
That's not St. Louis. That's the only Rams I know.
That's the only Rams you acknowledge. The Giants at 3, a little surprising, but hey, New York City.
New York.
The Patriots at number 4 and the 49ers at 5. So, I mean, you got Super Bowl champions with the Rams, Giants, Patriots, and 49ers of the last, 20 years. But wait. No, 49ers haven't won one in the last 20 years. Never mind.
Not the Philadelphia Eagles.
Rams, Giants, Patriots kind of, the Giants and Patriots, I feel like kind of won their way to prestige, especially the Patriots, of course. I don't know how much the Giants' 2 Super Bowls are weighing into this versus being just like New York's team.
I know this isn't a headline, John, but I've got a theory. Michael Porter Jr. will be caught in a betting scandal.
Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen these clips and stuff where he's talking on podcasts.
Well, I've seen the clips, but I don't think it's about him getting caught in a scandal because he's like, hey, I got a bunch of money. I don't need to chase that high of getting money. He's like, I chase girls is essentially what he said. Like my weakness has always been chasing women. He says my brother, he don't get no women. So he's always been infatuated with money and gambling is essentially what he said. And then he describes what his brother did in terms of, he said, your friends might need money, and then you could go out there and tell them on a bet on your under and then take yourself out of the game 3 minutes in. And, I think as he's saying it never washes over him that's what his brother did.
Yeah, he says, think about it. If you can get all your homies rich by telling them to bet $10K on my under, this one game, I'm going to act like I got an injury, and they all get a little bad. Some people come from nothing, and they think like that.
Yeah.
He's on the radar.
Yeah.
So will Jokic. He'll get busted for gambling on horses or something. And they'll say, why does this matter? And we'll say, it doesn't.
I don't know if Jokic will get busted for gambling on horses and stuff just because he owns the horses. I don't think he needs to gamble on them. He just, when they win, he gets his fix there. They become more expensive to breed and whatnot.
In UFC news, John, we've learned a little bit about John Jones and how much of a coward he was.
Okay.
So he was supposed to fight the guy, Tom Aspinall, who's the interim heavyweight champion.
I've heard the name. I've never watched the guy fight, but I've heard the name.
And he had a stipulation where he wanted a lot of money, right?
Okay.
Well, then they went to the Saudis, and they said, hey, we'll give you $30 million for this fight. And he says, okay, deal. And then he said, actually, no, I don't want to fight.
So the Saudis were actually going to give John Jones $30 million to do this fight? So basically they were going to get boxing money?
He asked for an outrageous amount of money. They came up with it because he didn't think they were going to. And then they came up with it, and he said, oh, actually, we're not doing that.
So he tried to give them a number that they would refuse to basically be like, yeah, if you want to make me do it, we'll do it at this number. Thinking no way they'd say yes. But then okay, deal. And he's like, actually, I'm still not doing it.
Yep.
I feel like you got to get your ass whipped for $30 million if you're John Jones. At his age, would getting his ass whipped be even that harmful to his legacy?
I mean, yeah.
It would. I mean, is he not 37, 38 years old?
He calls himself the GOAT, undisputed.
Yeah, but
if he's ducking fighters instead of just losing to them.
Well, I think ducking fighters is worse than losing to them.
Not in his mind.
Well, I'm not talking about his mind. I'm talking about reality. No one cares that Muhammad Ali got beat up at the end of his career. It doesn't stop anybody from saying he was the greatest. He got beat up whenever he was an old man. It happens. But he was really, really good in his prime. I feel like in the fight game we kind of know that guys will go out on their shield. That's kind of the expectation is that you hang on a little bit too long, you chase that payday a little too long. And I don't know, I just don't feel like that really gets brought up to diminish people. I think Like Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, who went undefeated, never lost. I think his legacy has diminished a little more just because, like, of the fights he didn't take. Like the fact he fought Canelo when Canelo was too young. He fought Manny Pacquiao when Pacquiao was a little too old.
You know what's crazy for Manny Pacquiao? He's now, I think, like number 2 ranked by the WBC.
Well, when you get a draw with the champion, I guess that shoots you up the rankings.
I think it's weird. Just like come out of retirement and instantly be back in the top of the rankings.
Well, people said he could have won that championship pretty easily. I didn't watch the fight. I used to love Pacquiao, but like I didn't watch, but I did see the boxing people I follow and some of the articles I read say that it was a very controversial decision that he should have won. So I guess I got no problem with him being number 2.
You know what's not controversial, John? The Minnesota Lynx clinching the first WNBA playoff spot.
Yeah, I guess there's not that many games left, and they're
After
like
the Dallas Wings, 81-80 win over the Fever. They were up by, I think, like 16 at one point.
Yeah, the Fever went on, or the Wings went on a big run to take a lead, or something like a 16 or 18-0 run to take a lead, and then the Fever got it all the way back to 1, but couldn't hit the game winner, couldn't do anything, couldn't get over the hump.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I really hate those mid-game interviews because they went to Leah Boston and they're just like, "Hey, Leah, what needs to happen?" She's like, "Well, we need to score on or offense when we get the chance to." They're just like, "Okay, defense," and she's like, "Yeah, defense. It doesn't matter. We need to put points on the board."
Like, hey, get stops. I mean, like, get out in transition. Like, I mean, it's always the same stuff. The pregame stuff is one thing. The postgame stuff is usually a little better, but the endgame stuff, like, that is always completely useless. There is not ever any good in-game interviews that happen. The only like bit that comes to mind is when Greg Popovich was just being a jerk to reporters on the sideline and just not answering their questions. And like that wasn't even them being relevant for the right reason. That was, again, him being a jerk. That was him being a jerk. Post-game stuff, sure. Go in the locker room, go to the press conference, get some quotes, get people while their emotions are all hopped up. Pre-game, you want to get somebody to like guarantee a victory. Okay, that's fine. But in-game, completely useless. Oh, well, we need to take the basketball and score it. And if we get stops, we got to get rebounds. And, you know, if you get out in transition, it's easier to score in basketball versus walking the ball at the court. Like, yeah, it's all stuff we all know. We got to play with tenacity. Yeah, we know.
Speaking of jerks, John, going to college football this time, Oregon is without another wide receiver, as Dan Lanning has suspended indefinitely former 5-star Jurion Dickey. He didn't really play much. It shows he had 15 games with just 2 catches for 14 yards during his first 2 seasons with the program. So this would have been his, potential breakout year. So Oregon is kind of crumbling down right before our very eyes. At least for this season, it feels like.
Okay. I got nothing to add. It's all right.
A+.
Some headlines don't need commentary.
And then if we're going to go Cody's route, RFK Jr. minutes All-Americans drink mysterious glowing liquid.
I saw pictures or videos of him working out in the gym in jeans. That's all I need to know about him.
That's crazy.
Being in the gym. What? You work out in jeans?
No. I think about that and I look at those people and I say, these are absolute lunatics.
Yeah. They work out in jeans.
A lot of them are just going to do like arms when they're in the jeans.
Yeah, not too many people are hitting squats in jeans. I will say that. But the arms or chest, I see a lot of bench press in jeans.
They love their jeans, John.
Oh, I get it. Like American Eagle. What a home run for American Eagle. They've been talked about more of the last 2 weeks than they have been in 10 years, 15 years.
I'm curious to see what their sales numbers have been like.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't know anybody young. You guys were in high school not too long ago, Jackson. Were people still wearing American Eagle? People in college, are girls still wearing American Eagle? Do you wear American Eagle? Like,
I have a couple things of American Eagle, like boxers. That's about it.
But no pants, no jeans. Okay.
No.
There's levels to this. Start off as Old Navy and you say, okay. And then you go to Aeropostale. You say, "Oh, look at American Eagle."
Is Aeropostale still open?
I have no clue. I haven't been to a mall in years.
I go to West Town Mall and just walk around every now and then, and I'll never see it. So I imagined Aeropostale as a brand was all the way gone, but maybe not, I guess.
And then there's like Hollister above them, and then there's also Gap. But
well, I remember Gap. Yeah, I mean, Gap was pretty famous. Gap is still around. Because I know like Old Navy and like Banana Republic are still around.
Isn't
like,
that their brand though? Old Navy, Gap, and
Old Navy and Gap and Banana Republic are the same company. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive. R.I.P. to Aeropostale though. I think Abercrombie's still going strong.
That's the other forgotten one. I was never in there.
Yeah. I would have felt like that was too. And like it was really popular whenever I was even like in 5th or 6th grade. So I can't imagine. I didn't figure many people are still wearing Abercrombie and Fitch like at your age. I guess they dropped the M Fitch part too. It's just Abercrombie, but like Hollister, I guess. Am I wearing Hollister still? No.
Oh, nowadays probably Jackson.
I wish B was here so I could ask her what college age girls are wearing.
Have some Hollister shorts on. Several of my like college graphic tees I wear are from Hollister, so I do wear Hollister.
Oh, you're missing a necklace, Jackson.
A little puka shell. Speaking of puka, let's talk some NFL. Jordan DeJani coming up next. We'll dive into some Titans, some Matthew Stafford, some Shador Sanders, maybe a little Daniel Jones. Bubba, if you got anything you want to ask our NFL expert, Jordan DeJani, CBS Sports, coming up next. Stay locked in on FanRun Radio.
Streaming worldwide at FanRunRadio.com and on the free FanRun app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation, FanRun Radio, Knoxville.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced. Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad, and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Jordan Dejani, CBS Sports. Jordan, top of the morning to you, friend. How are you?
What's going on, John? I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm glad somebody from your friend group could help contribute to the show over the last week. I appreciate that.
Yeah, where's the king of the freaks?
He is having a mental health reset over the past week, is what I was told. So,
wow, was that first pitch that bad?
You know, people were a lot nicer to him about it. I think it was, I always talk about Jester's privilege, Make-A-Wish kids, whatever you want to say. Like they were judging him with kids' gloves. They didn't even care that he didn't go from the mound and they threw a pop-up. They're like, oh, good job, Cody. You didn't fall down. Good job.
Very good, very good.
Not dissimilar from how the internet was acting with Shedeur Sanders, in his first preseason game. He went from, hey, potential #1 overall pick to, of course, slotting in the draft, which made people think he couldn't play at all. So every time he completed a pass in the preseason, my Twitter timeline was like, see, the Shedeur hate was wrong. He's going to be really good. The truth's probably somewhere in the middle. How did you feel watching Shedeur's first go at it in the preseason?
Yeah, the truth is definitely in the middle. But to be honest with you, I was impressed. Like, it was better than I thought it was going to go. I think I was asked to give a prediction on what he would look like versus Carolina, and I thought he'd be kind of middle of the road. I thought he'd have a touchdown pass and an interception, maybe take 1 or 2 bad sacks, but really, he was great. I mean, I thought he layered some throws pretty well. I think the first touchdown was very impressive. I think he was more athletic than advertised. There was a couple plays where he got away from pressure. I don't know if he'll be able to do that in the regular season, but he did have some highlight reel plays. And instead of the narrative that people are trying to run with where they say Shedeur Sanders is now in conversation for starting quarterback week 1, I don't think that's true. I think what Shedeur Sanders likely did, if he hasn't already done it, is lock in his roster spot, right? Like, Cleveland is not going to part ways with him. I think he showed enough where he can at least make this 53-man roster. I still think it's probably Joe Flacco's job at the end of the day, but that's not to say Shedeur Sanders can't make a start at some point in the regular season.
I know it's something we can't possibly know just yet, but they didn't move Shedeur up on the depth chart. They kept him at number 4. So are you saying that you think they take 4 quarterbacks on the roster, like, and Dylan Gabriel makes it 2, or that, they'll wait and they'll change the depth chart at the last minute when it comes for the final cuts?
Yeah, first of all, I don't put any stock into depth charts at this point in the NFL calendar. I don't think you should. When you start really paying attention to depth charts, is going to be right after the preseason when the NFL teams put out their first official one before the start of the regular season. That's something you can put stock into. I was not surprised, nor was I expecting Cleveland to adjust their quarterback depth chart just because, again, Joe Flacco is 40 years old. He's not playing in the preseason. And then Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are dealing with hamstring injuries. But when it comes to Cleveland potentially taking 4 quarterbacks on that initial 53-man roster, sure, there's a possibility. I'm still leaving the door open that Kenny Pickett could potentially be trade bait or just straight up cut if something goes wrong. You have to remember that both of these guys are still dealing with injuries. So that's why Shedeur Sanders was able to have his own personal showcase this past week. I do think it's possible that Cleveland takes 4 quarterbacks on that 53-man roster. But again, I think it's Joe Flacco who's probably QB1 in September.
Look at us. We're guilty of it, too. I'm a Titans fan, and I'm falling for the trap of talking more about Shedeur Sanders and the Travis Hunters of the world versus the #1 overall pick, Cam Ward, the guy we should be talking about the guy that's going to define this draft class. What are you making that face for, Bubba? He's the number 1 overall pick. You talk about number 1 overall picks.
The AFC South is going to be probably the worst division in football to watch.
I didn't say anything to the contrary of that, but I'm excited to watch Cam Ward. And either way, no matter how you feel about it, Bubba, he's a number 1 overall pick. Jordan, did you see anything from him in his debut that gave you either cause for concern or confidence that the Titans finally have a franchise quarterback?
Well, I will tell you that Shedeur Sanders probably wants us talking about him, while Cam Ward probably doesn't care if we're talking about him, which is what you want, right? You want your potential franchise quarterback to be wired the right way. And that's the first thing I can say about Cam Ward, at least through this early part of the preseason. When it comes to his on-field performance, of course, started the game with a pretty ugly 3-and-out, and I started thinking, oh my gosh, what if he doesn't complete a pass in the first 2 drives? Would Tennessee keep him out again? But, of course, he led the offense down the field on that second drive, set up a touchdown drive. I think that he showed off his arm talent at times. I think he showed off his chemistry with Calvin Ridley. That was one of my big takeaways from the preseason. Did have one really bad pass, I think, on the left side of the field to Alec Iomanor, the rookie wide receiver, that should have been intercepted. That was a really bad pass. But other than that, I thought that Cam Ward looked pretty solid. So I'm excited to see what he does in his second preseason action. I'm not going to advertise him as the savior of the franchise just yet. But, of course, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about what he can do as a rookie in year 1.
Now, when you say it was a bad pass on the sideline, do we think it was a bad pass or a bad read? Because I know that's splitting hairs. I know that's semantics. But to me, a bad read for a rookie quarterback, I can live with. A bad pass, maybe a little bit more alarming, because that's like, you start getting into mechanics and him not having the arm strength or the arm talent to make certain NFL throws. The problem with the Titans, Will Levis would have bad throws with bad reads. So, like, when I saw the Cam Ward play you're talking about, I thought he more so got fooled by the coverage. And maybe, the offense didn't help him with the secondary route there being a little too high when it should have been a little bit more shallow. So the cornerback was able to peel off there and hop in that zone. Is that fair to say, or how do you grade that?
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because people have been debating where that throw was actually going, which makes me think it was maybe more a bad throw. Maybe I think it was Chig Okonkwo ran the wrong route on the crosser that put himself into a different zone quadrant. That's always possible. But people were debating, was it to Iomanor on the perimeter, or was it to the tight end streaking across the middle? Either way, that was a very dangerous throw and potentially a bad read as well. To me, at first glance, it really looked like he was going to the perimeter. And if it was, then I think it was a bit underthrown. So maybe a miscommunication there. But otherwise, bad throw, bad read, maybe it was both. It just wasn't a good play for one reason or another.
Hey, Jordan, this is producer Bubba here. And I'm a Colts guy, and we kind of got a situation in our quarterback room here. Do you think this is probably the end-all, be-all year for Anthony Richardson, assuming things kind of continue to not go his way? And also, what's the likelihood that Daniel Jones can actually improve his career a little bit?
Yeah, when it comes to Anthony Richardson, I think that the storyline that maybe we're not talking about enough, that is kind of out of his control, is if Daniel Jones ends up winning that job and performing well, then of course it's probably going to be it for Anthony Richardson. And I think that this quarterback competition is really fascinating, because most people look at Richardson as the favorite to win this job, but you have to remember that the Colts paid Daniel Jones a solid chunk of change to kind of come in and compete for this gig. And you always have to remember that Anthony Richardson is incredibly injury prone. So is there a possibility he suffers yet another injury on a sack he has no idea he's about to take in the preseason? And that just opens the door for Daniel Jones to win the job naturally. So when it comes to Daniel Jones, he's a really polarizing quarterback, because there are some in New York who thought that he had legitimate potential, and there were others that think he's an absolute bust. So when you're working with Shane Steichen and you have a better ground game than you've had since the days of Saquon Barkley, basically, is this a situation where Daniel Jones can, much like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, really reinvent himself and be a consistent presence under center for someone like Shane Steichen? I'm definitely leaving the door open for that. And I think it was the biggest reason they brought him in, because they wanted someone who isn't as talented or as athletic as Anthony Richardson, but someone who has more experience playing the position and can just simply run the offense. Because I think the Colts believe if they can just have a consistent guy to run the scheme, then they could potentially be a playoff team.
Now, if Anthony Richardson does lose that job and Daniel Jones gets it, like, do they try to move Anthony Richardson and trade him? Because it's always a weird dynamic when the franchise quarterback loses the job. Because, I mean, you'll have some people in the locker room that want him to be the guy, but also it's so sour. It's so awkward now. You know, if he starts the season and loses it midway through the year, of course, you can break up after the season, kind of like the Titans did with Mariota when Tannehill beat him out. But if it's something in the preseason that they decide is Daniel Jones, do you see them moving him to somewhere else or keeping him as the backup? Because, quite frankly, I don't think Anthony Richardson has the makings of a backup quarterback. I don't think he brings the professionalism or reliability that you kind of want from the backup quarterback position.
Right. And if the Colts end up being completely sold that Daniel Jones should be their QB1, I think they absolutely could potentially entertain trade offers for Anthony Richardson. But my other question would be, what exactly would he cost on that open market in terms of trade compensation? Because it's hard for me to imagine, just off the top of my head, there'd be a team out there at this point in the preseason / early in the season where they would offer decent trade compensation or a decent draft pick for someone like Anthony Richardson, who has proven to be wildly inconsistent. And to your point, I don't think he exactly has the makings of being a backup quarterback as well. I think that ultimately it could be smart to keep him on the roster, not just to learn from someone like Daniel Jones, but who knows if Daniel Jones is going to be that consistent quarterback that I was talking about. There's no guarantee that happens either. So I think there's a good argument to be made about keeping both guys on roster, no matter who's trotting out the offense to start the season in week 1.
Yeah, I think we could solve both teams' problems that we already talked about. Like, I think, like, hey, Cleveland Browns, you have 4 backup quarterbacks. Trade us 2 of them, and, hey, you need a franchise guy that maybe you can invest in. Hey, here's Anthony Richardson. The Browns are already projected to be the worst team in the league, or, besides the Saints, one of the worst teams in the league. Why not give Anthony Richardson a try out there with an actual professional roster around him and see if you can do anything with that? To me, that would make sense. I don't think that would happen, but I think you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The big news of the day so far, James Cook gets his new deal in Buffalo. 4 years, $12 million per year, gets $30 million guaranteed. Now the Bills can move forward towards the season. Are they your favorite right now in the AFC? Do you go with Lamar and the Ravens, or do you stay with old steady Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes until someone in the AFC is able to cut their head off?
Yeah, isn't it nice we finally had one of these hold-ins end? Because we're still waiting on Micah Parsons. We're still waiting on Trey Hendrickson. We're still waiting on Terry McLaurin. Finally, we got some good news in the form of James Cook signing a 4-year, $48 million deal. We knew that he was trying to push for around $15 million a year, which would have made him like a top 3, top 4 highest paid running back in the NFL. Ultimately lands at $12 million per year. That's tied for number 6 among NFL running backs. But where he got his good money was $30 million guaranteed, because I think that ranks number 3 in the NFL in terms of running backs. But if you're asking me for the AFC powerhouse, I think everyone would agree that the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills are going to be those top 3 teams in the AFC. I can't say no to the Chiefs at this point, and because I actually think they had a really good offseason. So they're already a perennial Super Bowl contender, and I think they could have potentially gotten better this offseason. So they're going to be in the mix. I think they finally solved the left tackle issue with Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. But if you're asking me for a team to finally usurp Kansas City and get to the Super Bowl, I'm actually leaning more towards the Baltimore Ravens instead of the Buffalo Bills, who are just as capable of doing so. But with Baltimore, I bring up DeAndre Hopkins because I don't think he's a wide receiver that's going to make the Pro Bowl or be an all-pro by any means. But if he can be a steady presence as the perimeter threat and move the chains for Lamar Jackson off the scramble drill, that's going to be incredibly important for Baltimore reaching its ceiling. And defensively, I think they drafted someone who I'm putting money on to win Defensive Rookie of the Year with Mike Green out of Marshall, the reigning FBS sack leader, who I thought had a pretty good preseason performance as well. We know that Baltimore defense is going to be nasty. The secondary is going to have to remain healthy, because if they are, they actually play pretty well. But I'm leaning towards the Baltimore Ravens as making the Super Bowl this year.
I saw that Derrick Henry only 1,317 rushing yards away from moving into the top 10 all-time in career rushing yards. That's
a Hall of Famer right there.
He would pass Thurman Thomas, Franco Harris, Marcus Allen, Edgerrin James, Marshall Faulk, Jim Brown, and Tony Dorsett. You know, it's felt like for the last 5 or 6 years that Derrick Henry had the chance to be, or maybe last 3 or 4 years, the last chance to be the like kind of the last traditional Hall of Fame running back. You know, getting into the top 10, I think, would stamp him. I think his last couple of seasons probably have already stamped him as a Hall of Famer. But we talked about James Cook getting paid. Of course, Saquon Barkley set the league on fire last year, carrying the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry, really good in Baltimore. Does it feel like the running back position is back across the league? Because, you know, whenever teams started going out for the 2 deep safeties to try to stop the passing game, it really opened up the running lanes again, and you saw teams kind of have more success doing that last year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in terms of them being back, they finally got a boost in pay compared to what happened a couple of off seasons ago with some of those top backs just receiving the tag and not getting any kind of market level deal. I will say that, you know, other positions, when a really good player comes up for a new contract off the rookie deal, they have the potential to reset the market. We're still not there with the running back position, but I do think that they're finally getting more of the guaranteed money that they deserve, right? If you told yourself a couple of years ago that James Cook was getting $30 million fully guaranteed, that would have been pretty shocking. So the running back position itself has made strides over the past couple of seasons. I still don't think it's necessarily treated as other positions around the NFL on both sides of the ball. But with that being said, they've been making progress.
Talking with Jordan Dejani, CBSSports.com. Jordan, any bold predictions you want to get on a record? You want to put on wax before the season? You want to call your shot with any team? Maybe someone who's going to exceed expectations, or a team that maybe fades and misses the playoff that people are penciling in as a contender right now.
Yeah, I'll give you 2. I think the team I'm really excited for in the NFC, and maybe this is a good time to get this take out there because their quarterback is 100 years old and dealing with back pain, but the Los Angeles Rams. I think that this club is all in for a Super Bowl this season, going out there and getting Devontae Adams to run wild with Puka Nacua. They got a tight end with Terrence Ferguson they're extremely excited about if that offensive line remains healthy, along with Matthew Stafford remaining healthy. The Rams are going to be a team that absolutely could be one of the best in the NFL. We understand they have one of the best young defenses in the NFL as well. I feel like the casual NFL fan didn't really understand how good that Rams defense was last year. They only came a couple games or a couple plays away, I should say, from hosting the NFC Championship game. So the Rams are a team to watch this year. I think it's worth it putting a flyer on them to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. For a team taking a step backwards.
Before you give a step back, you almost got me. I thought you were setting up to say the Rams were going to be a disappointment, because I do think, I'm with you there with the Rams being the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC this year. But like you joked about, Matthew Stafford's back. Real cause for concern there.
Yeah, and sorry if I was unclear. No, I'm very high on the Los Angeles Rams. But with Matthew Stafford, he was expected to actually practice yesterday, and of course he's been sidelined with the back injury. He's got this aggravated disc, but apparently he threw like 60-something passes at the Rams facility on Saturday. It seemed like he was making progress. That's the message the Rams wanted out there, but I guess he felt sore afterwards because, again, he was supposed to partake in individual drills on Tuesday, and he did not do that. So, yeah, of course there's reason to be concerned as the calendar continues to turn and we get closer to September. But ultimately, I'm still going to call my shot and say that the Rams are going to be my pick in the NFC.
Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo could keep that afloat if Stafford did have to miss time in the middle of the season?
No, not close to what Stafford does.
I just didn't know if he could coach around him, because you talked about the Rams defense, which, the Rams front office, McVay, their GM, everybody deserves credit, because that was a franchise that wasn't really flush with draft capital, that, kind of was facing, a salary cap crunch with how much they had invested on the offense. And they were able to kind of really strike with some diamonds for cheap on the defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, we're able to go out and get Jared Verse last year in the first round. But they were able to find some diamonds in the rough that has set their defense up to be one of the stronger units in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if they're picking in the first round or the third round. Like, that front office has just been able to hit on all their picks. And another guy I'll bring up quickly that I'm kind of excited about is Poona Ford, their new nose tackle that comes over from the Chargers. If you've ever listened to a Jason Kelsey podcast, Kelsey has talked about how that nose tackle in particular, because of his wingspan and his height, had given him maybe some of the most problems in his entire Hall of Fame level career. So the Rams defense, from what they did in free agency and how well they drafted, that's a unit that can serve as the backbone to get this club to the Super Bowl.
Think Devontae Adams has got anything left in the tank to be a good number two?
I absolutely do. I thought he played well in certain spots with the Jets last season. It's something you can kind of similarly say for Aaron Rodgers. But now that Devontae's playing with Matthew Stafford, who hasn't exactly regressed to the level of Aaron Rodgers just yet, I still think he's absolutely someone who can serve as a really good number two wide receiver opposite of Puka Nacua, which opens the field for him as well.
Yeah, if Devontae Adams does have something left in the tank, I mean, like where would they rank in terms of best wide receiver duo? Because if Adams is still good, I think Puka has shown he's ready to kind of knock down that door to be elite. Like, you could make the argument they're a top 2, top 3 duo in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think off the top of my head, number one would probably have to be A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Okay, I was gonna go Chase and Higgins maybe, but okay, you went the other LSU guy. Okay,
so maybe top 3. Yeah,
LSU. I was thinking Chase. I was also thinking Jefferson and Addison, just because of how good Jefferson is. But yeah, there's some good tandems, but I think Adams and Puka would have a chance to be, like you said, top 3, top 4. All right, you're ready to give me your team that you think is going to disappoint. Who you got?
Yeah, it's going to be the Detroit Lions. I feel rather confident saying that for a couple different reasons. Number one is they have a historically tough schedule. I think that most of their road games are against teams that were above 500 or made the playoffs last year. Then you throw in the fact that they lost offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. We all love Dan Campbell, right? But he wasn't the architect for any respective side of the ball. That privilege was given to Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, and they did tremendous jobs in building up those units. Remember what happened to the Eagles a couple of years ago when they lost Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, but Nick Sirianni was still the head coach? They tried to replace them with the new coordinators. It was an absolute disaster. They lost like 6 out of their last 7 games to end the season, got blown out in the playoffs by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had to reload at coordinator and really kind of revisit things. And that's when they turned into Super Bowl contenders, of course, with the signing of Saquon Barkley as well. So I wonder if the Detroit Lions are a team that does not win the division in the NFC North, makes the playoff as a wild card, and doesn't have the makings of being a Super Bowl contender now that they've lost their leaders on each side of the ball.
That would be really disheartening. The league is a lot better and the Lions are really good. The league is a lot better when Dan Campbell is like getting rewarded for his fourth down calls and beating his chest, and that would make me depressed. That would make me sad if the Lions took a big step back. But it might bode well for the team I am higher on than most. I am buying the Minnesota Vikings. Do you think J.J. McCarthy can make me look smart, or do you think I'll look like an idiot at the end of the year?
So I think the Vikings are one of the most interesting teams in the league because what they did this offseason was try to build that foundation around J.J. McCarthy. And I'm talking about a support system on the defensive side of the ball as well. I mean, they got Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen for that defensive line they've been trying to boost for so long. Jordan Addison, unfortunately, gets suspended at wide receiver, but Ty Felton out of Maryland is a rookie I'm really high on. So J.J. McCarthy, and with a revamped offensive line, by the way, getting Ryan Kelly and Will Freese from Indianapolis, the scene is set for him. Like, if he's going to match Sam Darnold's level of production, working with all these playmakers around him, this Vikings team is going to surprise people and be better than they think. But at the same time, what Sam Darnold did last year, even if you don't believe he's some top 10 quarterback, what Sam Darnold did last year from a production level was basically historical. I don't think any quarterbacks won 14 games as a free agent addition in his first season with the new franchise, even though he was working with guys like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So again, I think that if McCarthy ends up actually being a good quarterback and hitting the ground running, Minnesota does have the makings of looking like a legitimate contender.
Jordan Dejani, CBSSports.com. I didn't read it, Jordan. I clicked it for you, but I clicked and I slowly scrolled down the page. whenever you wrote last week about the Titans fall from number 1 seed to number 1 pick in the NFL. Just so you know, I didn't actually read it because I lived it, but I saw that you worked on it. What else do you have coming down the pipe?
Yeah, to your point, I didn't write that for Titans fans because they already lived through the misery. I kind of wrote that for other fan bases because the Titans are a national afterthought that no one cares about, but I think that their fall from grace is objectively fascinating. So having other people from other parts of the country read that article, you know, they got a kick out of it because they didn't realize how dramatic and crazy it was. Now, I'm sorry for all the Titans fans. I had to ruin your weekends, but I thought it was a good project nonetheless. We'll see. You know, I think that I'm trying to work on 1 or 2 more player interviews before we get to September, but those are kind of works in progress. I'll let you know.
See if you can get Travis Kelce. I feel like that'd be good for the SEO. You know, you can ask
Dude,
him.
So I used to talk to Travis Kelce every single year until he started dating some kind of performer, and now I can't get a hold of him. So I think that it's a pipe dream at this point.
That'd have been good for your brands. You got good views on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you go, I think Jackson's got a question. Bubba, turn Jackson's mic on. All right, good. Go ahead, Jackson. The floor is yours.
Hey, Jordan. This is intern Jackson.
MAGA Jackson, as we call him.
MAGA Jackson. I'm a Kansas City guy. I wanted to ask this offseason, they got the deal done with Trey Smith and George Karlaftis. Where do they stand on a Trent McDuffie extension?
Yeah, McDuffie is the guy that they absolutely should be focused on. In fact, people have been asking me if McDuffie was going to get a deal before Trey Smith or Karlaftis, and I kind of thought he would because he is an all-pro cornerback that's so versatile in Steve Spagnuolo's scheme. I think that just being up front, I think that Kansas City would be smart to get a deal done with him as soon as possible. But the problem is the cornerback market this offseason has kind of exploded, right, with J.C. Horn, Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner. So over the past couple of months, an extension has gotten tougher in terms of what that number is going to be for Trent McDuffie. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe they've had great conversations, but I can tell you that with what's happened in the market just over the past couple of months, it's become tougher for him.
Chiefs, Lions, Browns, Vikings, Rams, Titans. Jordan Ajani covered it all. Appreciate you, brother. Check out his work, cbssports.com. Enjoy the last little bit before it gets really crazy for you here in the next month or so.
I will, man. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Bubba. Send us a break. Last call on the other side. It's Talk Sports right here on FanRun Radio.
You're listening to FanRun Radio, the sports humans.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through. And if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Sick of Googling the best bets for tonight and coming up short? Tap into the slate presented by VIP Play, East Tennessee's only on-air gambling show. I'm William Pattison, and every weekday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm giving you sharp analysis, trends, and picks for college football, the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. If it's on the books, we've got you covered. It's the slate presented by VIP Play, weekdays at 6 on FanRun Radio.
Hour number 3 coming at you here. I said winds down. Last call on the program. Sorry, I was trying to send an email. My bad. Last call here on the program as hour 3 winds down. Bubba, what'd you learn about the NFL talking to Jordan Ajani?
I learned that Anthony Richardson might be on his way out here. I've learned to keep an eye on the LA Rams and the epidural Matthew Stafford.
What do you make of my idea to trade Anthony Richardson to the Browns?
You know what? Give me Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett and Shedeur Sanders.
Give him to me.
I like the idea.
I do too. Or I say we just make Anthony Richardson like a tight end or something.
I feel like there's a chance Anthony Richardson could become a tight end or something, but it would just be on a different team.
Yeah.
Can't be with that fan base. You can't hang around after you've been deemed the future and then you're not the future. You got to go somewhere else. You can still have a career. You can flame out the first place. I think the Sam Darnold comparison is everyone's new hope, right? That you can go somewhere else, get in the right system, and become a good enough quarterback to get a big deal. I mean, you saw it with Baker Mayfield, but at least Baker showed something at Cleveland before he got hurt. Like, Baker didn't suck the whole time he was at Cleveland. Sam Darnold pretty much sucked the whole time he was in New York, just like Anthony Richardson has pretty much sucked the whole time he's been in Indianapolis.
I'll also keep an eye on to see how the Detroit Lions, either progress or degress throughout the season.
I can't imagine they're really going to progress. Like, they were the number 1 seed last year. They're not going to get – I don't think they're going to be back in that position. Obviously, you can't get better than number 1, but I don't see them even repeating what they did last year. I don't know if the country, if NFL fans have talked enough about them losing both coordinators. I like Jordan's comparison to the Eagles from 2 years ago, like whenever they were kind of rudderless after losing their coordinator and how things got really bad between, Hurts and Sirianni, and then they almost led to a breakup, but eventually they hired some good coordinators and fixed it. Like, Dan Campbell is not a master tactician on either side of the ball. Like, I know he's an offensive guy. He used to play tight end, for the Cowboys way back in the day. But, like, he's not thought of as, like, an offensive genius. He's more of the motivator, rah-rah type of guy.
Just a passionate meathead.
Just a passionate meathead that kind of likes analytics, even though he says it's not analytics why he goes for 4th downs. He just goes off field. But either way, like, he has grasped that, like, hey, taking 4 downs to get 10 yards works better than 3. And for a lot of guys, that's a big thing to grasp. So, like, I like Dan Campbell. I'm rooting for his success. I think he is not the oaf that everyone claims he is. Like, I think he's pretty smart. But I don't know if he can survive losing 2 coordinators, both to head coaching jobs. Like, right, both coordinators were respected enough to get 2 jobs. Ben Johnson was the main free agent acquisition for the Bears last year. That's their new face of their franchise. I was talking with a Bears fan here, and, like, we kind of agreed that we kind of think that maybe at this point Ben Johnson outranks Caleb Williams in Chicago. Like, Ben Johnson is the future they're looking for, like the mad scientist, the guy that's going to go there and coach the offense. If him and Caleb Williams don't work out this year, I don't think it's going to be Ben Johnson they get rid of. I think it'll be Caleb Williams they get rid of, and then try to find Ben Johnson a new quarterback. Like, I think that's the pecking order there. And with Glenn, I mean, he ends up with the Jets. we'll see. You know, I don't know how prestigious of a job that is, but I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I think he was a good defensive coordinator. How the Lions replace both guys going to be very, very telling. It can go sideways there, and that's without even taking into, like, you know, them losing their all-pro center to retirement. Frank Ragnow saying, I'm good. I'm not playing anymore. I don't feel good.
Do we think the Bucs go down a little bit, though, with Liam Cohen now for Duval?
I don't know. You know, they didn't lose both coordinators, and even if they did, like, you know, Todd Bowles, he runs the defense, so like it wouldn't be the same as losing both coordinators. I think you can replace one most years. Like, I don't know if Liam Cohen's just some genius that he's the only guy that can tap into Baker Mayfield, but it's a cause for concern anytime you lose a coordinator, I think. So yeah, I mean, I think Tampa could drop back for sure. We'll see. We'll figure it out. I saw John Gruden pick him to win the Super Bowl yesterday.
What does he know?
Then I was like, does he actually believe that, or is he just pandering to the Bucs fans because he's a Tampa guy? I was trying to figure that out. All right, good show by you guys today. Thanks for holding it down while Cody's gone. Assuming he's not dead or in jail, he should be back tomorrow. We'll be back at full strength. That'll be nice. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Freaks. Thank you, Jordan Janney. Thank you, everybody. Under review coming up next. Bob Baskerville, Sam Beard. Stay locked in on FanRun Radio.